Take your shirt off.
Billy, take your shirt off.
They are saying that you're not invited if you don't take your shirt off. George is saying he's got to take his shirt off. All right.
Thank you.
There it is.
This guy's big.
Woo! Whoa, 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 whoa.
This is incredible.
Ooh, wide grip. He's got a wide grip.
On today's part of my take, we have our good friends, Greg Olsen and George Kittle. It will screw me up during the interview. It almost screwed me up right there. I wanted to call them both Greg. They join us in anticipation of Tight End University coming up later this summer. We're talking NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. We have some hot seat, cool throne, and one of our favorite old-time guests who was with us for our first Grit Week joins us in studio, Coach Bo Pelini, for a very special edition of Bo Knows Ball. So instead of Guys on Chicks, we got Bo Knows Ball, where we get listener-submitted AWL questions. Great show coming up, and we're brought to you by our friends at Visible. When it comes to saving on wireless, Visible is a clear winner. Other wireless carriers hit you with costly monthly bills, tricky extra fees, and unwanted add-ons, but never with Visible. You can shell out $60 or more a month for unlimited data with other mobile carriers, or with Visible, you can pay as little as $25 a month. What would you spend with that extra money? I don't know. What, Hank, tell me what you'd spend with that extra money. $25 a month. $60 a month. You'd save $40 a month. What would you spend it on?
Couple Taco Bell meals, value meals.
PFT, what would you spend all that extra money on?
I'd buy one more Taco Bell meal than Hank.
Love it. So with Visible, you won't pay extra fees, and they offer a single line plan, so you won't get forced into a family plan by other guys trying to save. Switch today to Visible at visible.com/pod and get unlimited single line wireless for as low as $25 a month. Comparison to a single line with unlimited data at other major carriers. For plan and network details, see visible.com/pod. Guys, girls, don't be spending too much on your wireless plans. Go right now to visible.com/pod. Get unlimited single line wireless for as low as $25 a month. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by Visible. Go to visible.com/pod today and get single line wireless for as low as $25 a month. Today is Wednesday, May 25th. And the most exciting thing we had tonight was a rain delay inside of an NBA arena.
Yeah, we had a leaky roof tonight. Kurt Warner having a stroke watching that. Can we do a double dome over top of that? I really don't want any weather creeping in. Well, no, actually, Big Cat, you're wrong. I think that was the second most exciting thing. The most exciting thing that happened was Jake's nodding his head right now. We got a leggy, a top wedgie.
Yeah.
Never seen it before.
Draymond free throw. Never seen that before, Jake?
Not in a game, no.
It was actually, I mean, and while we're taping this with 4 minutes left. I'll never count out the Warriors. They're down 13 right now, so we might just look like the dumbest people in Earth by the end.
12. Now down 12.
Now down 12. So we basically started the show. We're like, hey, should we do this starting into the fourth quarter? Because the Warriors were down 1 million.
Now they're down 11.
And of course, the Warriors are the Warriors, and they can come back from anything. But we're going to assume the Warriors lose this game. And if they don't, we'll keep this all in and we'll just correct it by the end of this. Either way, it was the two most exciting plays in the game, or the three most exciting plays in the game were the wedgie, or whatever we're going to call it, where the ball just stopped on the rim, the rain delay, and then Luka just shooting one of the greatest horse shots I've ever seen, where he threw it up in the air after
Warriors down to 8.
After the whistle was blown. This is awesome.
And I'm pretty sure Steph and Clay and Draymond have not been in this fourth quarter,
is
right?
Awesome. Dude, if the Warriors steal this game, holy fucking shit. And I did my whole tweet about how it's always blowouts and everything's a blowout. The Warriors might be the only team that can be blowout proof.
Well, it's crazy because in a game like tonight, this would be the Boban game. We were supposed to get Boban tonight. But like you said, no lead is safe against the Warriors at all.
You put Steph back in right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
But they just came all the way back with their bench players.
Yeah, you roll the dice with Steph.
They were playing earlier in the fourth, but
You put Steph back in and you give America a night that they won't forget. That's what you have to do right now. I really hope that the Warriors win this game, especially because later on in the episode, I said the Warriors won earlier tonight. So
yeah, you did.
I don't want to seem dumber than usual on the podcast. I don't need to go out of my way to make myself look like an idiot. But yeah, the halftime delay was electric. It's always funny when they kick it back to the booth, back to the halftime show guys, and they're like, okay, just kind of ad lib for anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes until we get this thing fixed. They send a guy up to the roof, up to the catwalk. First of all, I would have puked and gotten dizzy and fallen over the ledge if I was up there. But they sent a guy up there with a towel. That was their game plan. It was very reminiscent of many afternoons where we've seen FedEx Field in the fall in Raleigh, John, Maryland. But yeah, their big plan was just like they should have sent him up there with like one bucket and then send another guy up to like replace the Home Depot bucket with a new bucket every 5 minutes.
Why didn't they just use duct tape? I know it's a joke, like, the Apollo 13 or whatever, when they use duct tape, but duct tape literally fixes everything. If you just duct tape the hole, you'll be fine for at least the rest of the game. That's a fact. I also, every time I saw you tweet that clip, I was so confused because I went on the Chicklets stream for the Battle of Alberta for the first period, and I came back to my couch and it was like still halftime. And I was like, wait, that was 35 minutes. What the hell's going on? Are the Warriors now? What would you put your hands up for, Hank?
They put Steph back in. They let Luka dunk the ball, and then they just did an offensive foul. That.
Steph was not involved in either of those plays.
But the vibes.
But it did have the vibes changed. Vibes changed.
I mean, if you look at it's actually funny to look at the Warriors starters versus bench. Everyone in the starters is minus 18 or worse, and everyone on the bench is like plus 15 or better.
It does make sense that the Mavericks are winning this game because this is like the formula that the Mavericks need. Like Luka can go out there and he can score 40 points if he wants to, but those are the games that you're probably going to end up losing because it means that Luka's trying to do it all one-on-one and not really, like for whatever reason, it could be that no one else is getting involved. It could be that everybody else is missing their shots, but you're not going to win many games against the Warriors when Luka is doing the thing where he puts the entire team on his back. In this game, what does he have? Like 26 points right now and like 7 assists, 8 assists.
Yeah. 14 rebounds.
14 rebounds. That's the formula. Mark Cuban should just be like, hey, every night, Luka, you go out there, you score 28 and also have like 3 other starters in the late teens, early 20s.
I don't know if that's totally the formula. I think it's more just those other guys finally did hit shots because remember in game 3, they were 28% from 3 and Reggie Bullock was 0 for 7 from 3. And they all the Mavericks weren't going to just miss every shot for this entire series. So it was going to happen. They were getting good looks. They just weren't hitting any of their shots. So it finally happened tonight. And even still, the Warriors almost came all the way back, which would have been incredible if they had won this game. Again, they still could win this game.
By the sabermetric stat of the night came from Stan Van Gundy. This was like 3 minutes ago when the Warriors were down by probably 24 points. And he said the hardest thing to do is win in the NBA because the other team is trying to win too.
Well, it's Trent Dilfer stuff there.
Unless you're playing the Kings.
Yeah, I just hate that the Mavericks, like this was supposed to be the game 3 energy. And we all bet on them on Sunday night. Like you can't do game 3 energy in game 4. You screw everything up. When you're down 2-0 and you go back home, you're supposed to win that game, not lose, and then win game 4. So they've got me all screwed up, and I'm sure they'll win game 5 if they pull this one out. But yeah, I guess the Warriors are at least they didn't make it a blowout. At least they made the fourth quarter kind of fun for a minute.
Yeah, for about like
13 again.
1 minute. Now it's back up to there's still 2.5 minutes left. That's plenty of time.
Yeah, but Steph should never have been brought back in. We should talk real quick. Memes. Are you ready to face the music?
10 points.
Memes comes alive.
I'm here.
Where are you at right now? Because the Rangers win 2-2, they win 4-1. It's now 2-2 in the series. It seems like the Canes just can't win on the road, which has to make you a little nervous knowing that if the Rangers can steal one, you're now in hell.
Yeah, so the worry meter goes up with each win. But
funny how that works.
Yeah. That is how series work.
Well, now it's the best of 3.
But I was looking at their scores from the last series. They got blown out by the Bruins away every single time in all 3 games.
So you're gonna bank on a game 7 at home. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Now,
but They also have the Lightning waiting for him if they do win.
Yeah. So memes, I noticed, several tweets from the Battle for Alberta game. Didn't see that many coming from you from the Rangers game tonight. So
oh no,
I don't know if you got hacked in the middle of that game.
Phone was charging. I tweeted one out. It said Rangers 2-0. Someone was like, who's got the gun to your head?
You have to be unbiased, memes. It's right there in your bio.
Yeah, it's bad memes when I start getting tweets being like, has anyone checked on memes? That's usually my radar of like whenever something bad happens in the sports world to any of us, I'll start getting tweets being like, oh no, check on Hank, check on Jake, like all these things. So that's why I had to ask how you're doing. And it seems like you're in denial if I had to pinpoint what the mood is.
Yeah, definitely. They look really good.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do, memes. Those losers that have in their profile on Twitter, like retweets are not endorsements, thoughts are my own.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to put in the part of my take bio, thoughts are not my own. So it's just the game flowing through you, not even your own thoughts.
Right. You
can't be held responsible for anything.
Yeah.
Solid. Sounds good.
Okay. And then the Battle of Alberta has been electric no matter what. I mean, it's going to finish.
Got?
What?
What do you got? I saw you on the chicken screen. Yeah,
I have both. I have the Oilers and the Flames. Futures on both.
So you want the Flames to win so it goes longer?
No, I probably would like the Oilers to just finish this off at this point because I want them to be fresh for the Avalanche.
Yeah, you want them to have fresh legs going into that. Also, I'm going with the Oilers too, just because I know a player on the Oilers.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my standard when it comes to West Coast hockey.
Two.
Who's the
Duncan
second?
Keith's also on the Oilers.
Oh, Duncan Keith. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So I know two more players on the Oilers than I do on the Calgary Flames.
Okay. We're going to kick it back to ourselves in the studio for Heat Celtics. By the way, we're streaming it tomorrow night live from the PMT studios. So tune in. We will be live for game 5. I'm sure it will be a blowout, but we don't know which way.
Oh, that just reminded me. I was supposed to go to Manhattan tomorrow night. I guess we'll postpone that. Hank, you're the programming director of this entire website.
You're the president.
Let's do Saturday night, 9 o'clock.
No, I'm unavailable. I have a meeting.
All right. So Sunday morning at 7 a.m.
Yeah. Another meeting, watching UEFA Champions League then. So
yeah, true.
I don't want to cannibalize our own company's stream that we'll probably have.
Mm-hmm. Definitely have. All right, we'll tune in. We'll be live from the PMT studio.
Save it for next Wednesday. I'll just tease it right now. Next Wednesday, I'm gonna be bombing Dan Snyder's train.
There we go. Yeah, there'll be no NBA Finals game. It doesn't start till Thursday, so you're good to go.
Beautiful.
All right, let's kick it to ourselves in studio. Talk Heat, Celtics, and Hot Seat Cool Throne. Before we get to the rest of the show, our great sponsor, Coors Light, the greatest beer in the world. Summer's coming up. It is time to relax, chill out. Maybe take a step back from the 24/7 grind.
Pickett, I found a Coors Light from last summer in my fridge last week.
Yes.
The mountains had been blue on it for probably record time, like 6 months.
I love it.
More than that, actually. Probably like 9 months worth of cold blue mountains. It tasted just as crisp as the Rockies.
I love it. I love it. Coors Light's the most delicious beer. It is the coolest beer. It is literally made to chill. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. Tweet us your pictures of the blue mountains all summer long. There's nothing better than just a Friday afternoon, getting off work, boom, blue mountains. Nothing better. So when you need to hit that reset button, crack open an ice-cold Coors Light. When I need a second to myself, I reach for the beer that's literally made to chill. It's Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. The weather got to, 90 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. There's nothing that can cool you down better than an ice-cold Coors Light with those blue mountains. Okay. So, Heat Celtics. We another blowout. No, we'll throw another one into the blowout meter. These playoffs, I said it on Monday, and again, I know that there's a lot of anti-NBA weirdos that want to hop into this storyline of the NBA playoffs game to game not being very competitive.
Yeah, we'll get to hockey later for those guys.
Yeah, right. Like it's one of those things that I can hold two thoughts in my head at the same time. I can love basketball and think that these playoffs have been a little bit disappointing because the series are competitive, but the games are not. and I would like for the games to be competitive more than, like, if you had me choose, I think I'd rather have really competitive games, 2-point games in a 5-game series than 7 blowouts.
Yeah, not a sweep, but like a 5 to 6 game series where they're competitive, where at least we get like 3 competitive games.
Right.
Rather than 7-game series where it's like 20-point victories each side. It's all shaping up to be the most confusing NBA Finals of all time because you've got the Warriors, who we already talked about them tonight.
Yep.
But we're time traveling, so the Warriors swept the Mavericks tonight.
Ooh.
And they look like they're world beaters. They're the old Warriors right now, and they're going into the finals against a team that probably is going to go 6 or 7 games. And it's going to be
a fair assumption.
It's going to be, but it's going to be a blowout for most of them. Thank you, Hank.
Has to go 6.
Hank, you don't need to be so fucking spicy.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, you don't know, no matter if it's the Heat or the Celtics, no matter which team advances to the finals, I have no idea how to handicap this finals. I don't know if the Warriors are that good, if the Heat are that good, if the Celtics are that good. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I think we just got to parse it down to this: if any team plays their best, they're the best.
You know,
That's kind of like, because I've talked myself into it many times where I'm like, no one's beating the Warriors' best, but what about the Celtics' best? That could beat anyone. But what about the Heat's best? That's a tough team to beat.
I'd say, like, these Celtics could beat those Warriors.
Right.
And those Heat could beat those Warriors, but those Warriors would beat these Heat.
Yes, I followed that. It makes sense. The one thing that confused me about the game, so it was decided pretty much within the first 5 minutes. It was 18-1, I think, at some point. The Heat missed their first 11 shots. Was it 11 or 12 shots? 13 shots from the field. It was disastrous start. I was very confused, though, with this series and the injuries that happen. Every single game, it feels like, oh, okay, Marcus Smart's not playing. Oh, Tyler Herro's not playing. Oh, like, Robert Williams is
might
back.
not play,
right. It was weird to me that the Heat, even though the game was decided in the first quarter, they played their starters in the second half. And I was waiting for them to be like, hey, let's punt and go to the next game, and they never really did that. They kept on trying to claw back, and it wasn't possible because the Celtics were just way better than them on Monday night.
We'll see if this matters, too, but Derek White left the game with like a groin injury with like 3 minutes left when the game was very much decided. So hopefully that like isn't a factor, but that was a little bit Thibodeau-X.
Yes.
What's the quarters update, Hank?
Yeah.
The quarters, what is it, Jake? 9, 2, and 3 or something?
Well, they tied the third. And
great. It was a great game of quarters.
Oh wow! So it was only 2-1 for the Celtics last night.
2-1.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So the Heat have momentum.
Yeah, they do.
That's true.
They
Yeah,
won the
They're
last
on
quarter.
Yeah, they are. You got to worry about that.
A 1-game quarter streak.
I also we talked about it on Monday, but Bam Adebayo being the most frustrating guy to watch because he's good enough to take over any game. And then I think he had his second field goal attempt with like 60 seconds left in the second quarter. He ended up with 5 shots total. And it's like every time I'm like, dude, Al Horford deserves a ton of credit. Robert Williams deserves a ton of credit. The Celtics defense is completely different when he's on the floor. But I just keep watching Grant Williams. I keep watching Bam being like, just do some stuff, dude. He's the verbal meme, the guy with the stick.
You're poking
him. Be like, do something, dude.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler last night, I feel like in the first half, tried to make this into a Jimmy Butler game.
Yeah.
But he's not healthy enough to make it a Jimmy Butler game. So he was taking most of the shots. And Bam, I do think that there is something to the fact that, like, when Jimmy Butler, when he's on your team, like, he has to be the alpha.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're not, like, a really strong-willed dude, then you're just more than happy to let Jimmy Butler go out there and do his thing because he is a dog. And Bam will step into the dog role when Jimmy's not there, but when he's around, he's always going to be the one that's like deferential.
Yes.
And like lacks a little bit of confidence in himself because Jimmy's out there doing his Jimmy thing, even when Jimmy's not 100% like I don't think he was last night either.
No, I'd agree.
And also Peyton Pritchard played well.
Yeah.
Peyton Pritchard went out
after
there.
he broke the code.
He did his thing. He broke the code, but he came back. His whole look when he's wearing like the low top black shoes, a lot of people like jump straight to the like smash the cop button and be like, that guy looks like a cop. Peyton Pritchard looks like a fucking cop.
Oh, he definitely looks.
He looks like either like a police officer undercover as a busboy.
Yeah.
But
he looks like a cop that will show up to a basketball game and then cross everyone up, and then Bleacher Report and Sports Center Instagram accounts will be like skull emoji. Wow.
I love those videos.
Yeah.
When a cop shows up, it's like a female cop shows up and just gives a guy like 20 and 10 right to his face.
Yeah. Like, damn, this was crazy. All right, so I have a question for you, Hank, before I want to get a
she's got a
status
gun.
check.
Of course you're not going to take a charge.
Yes. Question.
Yes.
Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year.
Correct. That's
Would-
facts.
would
Fact
you-
or fiction? Fact.
Would you agree, though, Robert Williams, most important defender on the Celtics?
100%. If Robert Williams was healthy all year, he would have been the Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, okay.
I think most of the players would agree.
It was.
He
night
will
and
be
day.
Defensive Player of the Year eventually in his career.
You could also be like the defensive player of your team, but not the defensive player of the league.
Well, that was why a lot of people were.
Well, he
up
was just
in-
injured, but
Yeah. People
that's
were,
true.
Yeah, people were up in arms with the guard winning Defensive Player of the Year because rim protectors and guys who can alter everyone's shot that gets even close to the rim, like Robert Williams, changes the entire scope of the defense.
He had like 30 more blocks this season than Bam, and he missed like 30 more games.
So my second question is, this is just the mood ring series where we're just riding Hank's mood. You are now back to this team is the best in the world.
It's a best of 3.
Yeah, I'm planning on going on Friday. Shout out to Game Time, but I'm expecting it to be a closing match, confetti season.
You're
confetti for winning the East.
no confetti
No.
for winning the championship.
What did
On
Philly
Friday?
just did confetti for the first round? That was
Yeah.
that's kind of thrown off my thing when they
Well, no, they did
They let
confetti
off
for a game they
confetti.
didn't win.
for making it to overtime,
Yeah, right.
and then they lost. So I was
Right.
confused.
They should do confetti at the start of the game.
So they don't even do T-shirts.
No, they
It's
do
always different with
t-shirts.
sports.
They do
It's
t-shirts.
confusing.
There might be confetti.
they do the t-shirts that are like we run the East.
Yeah.
Like the East, the Beasts in the East, something like that.
I feel like if they do a stage in a trophy presentation,
Yes,
they do confetti
they do.
as well.
They do.
So I'm
And-
expecting that.
And it's the Larry Bird Trophy and the Magic Johnson Trophy now. They just named that. So
Really?
for the most valuable player in the conference finals.
That'll be awesome.
They just keep adding trophies, which is going to be funny because it'd be great if they do like most valuable player play-in trophy James Harden. That would be sick.
Play in P.
Yeah. Play in P is in the West. James Harden's in the East.
So Hank, are you like, give me your confidence meter right now? You're talking confetti on Friday, so you're saying you're even throwing
95%.
You're throwing out the, like it's not
Whoa.
even a best of 3 right now. You're just saying like we're gonna win 3 games in a row.
Yes.
So open parlay Celtics Wednesday to Celtics Friday.
Yes.
Jake,
Jalen
how-
Brown Finals MVP.
How do you take
Throw
this
that out there.
disrespect
Larry Bird MVP.
coming from all
No.
of our boss?
NBA Finals MVP.
Jalen Brown.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Stephen Shea.
Okay.
I mean, Hank
I was
just
gonna say
said
that
it.
you didn't come up with that.
So-
But he said it, and it's been ruminating in my brain all day.
You don't think Jason Tatum?
It's good value, better value.
Okay.
Also,
Think about Andre Iguodala.
Jason Tatum's going to be
It's
the
like they're
finals
going to try and
MVP.
they're going to try and lock up Jason
But
Tatum.
that only happens to Steph. Like there was a narrative going after Game 3 that Andrew Wiggins has been the best player in this Warriors Mavericks series, and everyone's like, just because Steph is small doesn't mean we have to take away every MVP from him.
Fact.
Like it does feel like Steph is the only guy that everyone tries to find someone else on his team. Like, you know who really was important? No, Steph, because Steph gets all the attention and Steph draws everyone to him and everyone else eats around
Well,
him.
it's because he's too good.
Right.
And he's almost like a gimmick with how good he is. Like it seems like the style of basketball that he plays shouldn't even be possible. So it is like you're using a game genie, and you're like, yeah, you got the high score on game genie, but I got the high score without using the cheat.
Right, and it's Steph will go like 6 for 14 from 3, and everyone be like, "Ooh, what's wrong with him?"
Yeah, something's wrong with Steph Curry.
It's like I don't know. That's like 40%.
But let's not forget that Jason Tatum wins the Finals MVP. Then Billy has to go vegan.
Yeah,
For how long?
For a month and a half.
Yeah, I'm looking
That's
forward
exciting.
to that.
He's gonna cheat, so he has to do it. If he cheats, he has to restart day 1
Yep.
because
Is
you
there
know
like
he'll
a piss
cheat.
test you can do for that?
I'll just say that there is, and I'll say that he's lying after the first week, and he'll be
Can
like,
you
"Oh,
test
fuck, you
for
caught
meats?
me."
And
Also,
piss?
I don't think we're gonna have to do a piss test. He's just gonna text us all on Sunday, being like Felipe Chow, and we'll be like, "Yeah, Billy," and then he'll eat it, and he'll be like, "You're not vegan."
So Jake, where are you at? Because Hank's showing a lot of disrespect to you. You know what Hank's doing? Hank is the national media right now. Hank's gotten so big at his job here at Barstool Sports that he is the face of the national media, forgetting about the Heat, not showing Heat culture any respect right now. To your face, he said that it was going to be a 2-game sweep.
Yeah, I mean, he did say 5 or 6, so he's still alive in that
Yeah.
consideration.
The problem with this series is that every game is a blowout, so you walk away from like the blowout saying that team will never lose again.
Right.
Like after game 3, I was like, the Heat are way better, and then after game 4, it's like, no, the Celtics are way better. So I just hope we get a good competitive game. Give us one good competitive game.
Nah.
Game 5 will be streaming, correct?
Yep.
So that
From
will be
here, PMT YouTube.
Yep.
No nutsacks.
There was
Yeah, fun.
a sick crowd courtside too. You see Pitbull was there?
Pitbull
You mean
or
Gucci
Florida?
Mane?
Oh yeah, it's Gucci Mane. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gucci
yeah.
Mane was there.
Big Baby Davis, I saw
get them
him there.
confused.
Yeah.
Crushing popcorn.
I saw there were some Arsenal players. Yeah. The Pistons were there, which is weird.
Do you guys know?
I heard. I don't. You know, it was great talking soccer. I learned a lot the other day. But I saw someone say he was like disrespected because they showed a bunch of celebrities and they didn't show one of the soccer players.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Damn.
Don't know what any of it meant.
Yeah, no, I don't. That one doesn't bother me
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I forget. Wait, what were we talking about right before then? There was something else about
Jail
this game I was going to
Blasters.
bring up.
Oh,
The Jail Blasters.
The Pistons.
the Pistons were there, which I actually, it's always, people always think it's weird when other players go to games like that, but if you're a fan of ball, you're a fan of ball.
Oh yeah, Big Baby Davis.
Yeah.
You guys know what Big Baby Davis has been up to recently?
He's
Nothing
been getting in
good.
trouble,
Yeah.
I think.
He's been on probation and he violated because he like defrauded the NBA out of a bunch of like money meant for the players after
Right,
they retire,
right.
like what Clinton Portis got caught for. But he violated his probation that game that he snuck into. And he took somebody else's seat courtside at the Celtics. You remember that?
yeah.
When the cameras caught the
Yep.
usher like asking him to move? Because he got on TV from that, his probation officer was like, wait a second.
It's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm
You're
episode.
not
Yeah.
allowed to be in Massachusetts right now.
That's
So
funny.
he got arrested for that.
All to Hall of Fame cry guy.
Yep.
Big Baby Davis. I feel like there was a stretch there with Kevin Garnett just looked at him, he would cry.
Hall of Fame gift guy. Too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I would honestly go to jail if it meant that there was a gif of mine that would live on like well past my death. I think
Yeah.
that's well worth it.
Yeah, the licking the lips.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good gift. All right, hockey. Jake. Is it good or bad to go to a strip club before your team gets bounced
Never
from the playoffs?
confirmed.
Fully confirmed. The
Never.
Panthers, if you didn't hear, the Panthers went full varsity blues. Tampa Bay is a strip club city, probably the number one strip club city in America. And so they all went to a strip club before they got bounced in the playoffs. The most prolific offense in the history of the NHL scored 3 goals in a 4-game series.
I mean, the Lightning are a wagon. The Lightning are like
It's crazy.
They're legit. They're starting to reach the point for me where I'm sick of them.
Well, here's the
If they hadn't been so pathetic before they won their first Stanley Cup, I would already be sick of the Lightning. But because they bowed out so unceremoniously, first to the Capitals when Tom Wilson literally punched them out of the playoffs.
Yep.
And then the years following that where they were a big disappointment. If it hadn't been for that, I would already be sick of the Lightning. Right now, I'm about to peak on the Lightning. That's what's happening right now. I'm peaking on the Lightning.
Well, they're a good test of my theory.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're a good test of my theory that it doesn't, as long as you don't know anyone who's a big fan of that team, it can never bother you. Like, I don't know any Lightning fans. They could win every Stanley Cup. I would not be bothered.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's a Lightning fan?
Well, Tom
Third
Brady,
leg Greg?
Tom Brady he brought excellence with him down
That's
to
true.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you got to update that stat where he's basically every city he's lived in just wins trophies.
San Francisco.
It was San Francisco, it was Michigan, because
Michigan?
I think the Red Wings won when he was there, and then obviously Boston, and then Tampa Bay has had many
I
trophies.
mean, the Rays got to the World Series. That's
yeah, they
pretty
did.
crazy.
That's
So
a trophy
the
in
last
itself.
win of the Panther season will be the bikini game.
Oh,
That's nice,
that's
Jake.
nice.
Thank you for reminding me about that.
That's
Yeah.
very nice.
I know it as the Jake lost his phone game, but you
then
can
got
call
it
the
back.
bikini game, and then got it
And,
back.
and got a puck and gave it to you, and you threw it at an usher.
They-
Yeah, okay.
true.
What?
I threw it in the
chucked it.
direction, and the usher happened to be standing there. I did not
Yes.
throw it at the usher.
That's fair.
But you also, let's put the context in this. You came
Lower
up to
or
me.
upper body?
It didn't hit. It didn't hit the usher at all, and it would have hit the
Classic.
lower body.
Classic.
Oh, shut up, Hank. You root for Mac
you
Jones.
can't throw. Yeah, the Panthers, I mean, that was
Yeah, it was
don't win the
bad.
presidents.
Yeah, it was bad. But
Yeah.
look, this is the first time they won a playoff series in 96 and 96.
Oh, that's good.
Hang the banner.
Congratulations.
That's great.
For them, it's
Yeah, no, that's
step
great.
in the right direction.
Rare.
That
Go,
is.
Go Cats.
Yeah, go Cats.
Yeah, time to hunt.
Time to hunt. Well, it's not time to hunt anymore.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time to sleep.
Time to gather.
Time to golf.
Time to go to the strip club.
I don't have a problem with that, honestly. Like, I'm not a strip club guy, but I know that hockey guys are a strip club guy. What is this laughing about? Like, have you ever known me to be a strip club guy ever? I don't understand the concept of strip clubs. Why they're so fun.
I am not a big strip club guy myself, so I don't know either. I mean, we've talked about it before with Ryan and Titus. There's always one strip club guy in the group,
Yeah, the guys that's
which is
always,
Hank.
the guy that's always pressing.
We've been to a strip club in Tampa together.
Yeah, we did.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
probably because Hank suggested it. Right?
Yeah, he was like, "Let's go get some food."
Like there's something.
Only place I know is strip club.
There's something weird about the guy who's always like hey, hey bros, you want to go look at naked chicks together?
Yeah. And he does it too early in the night, and you're like, all right, just chill out. Strip club? Should we? I'm thinking strip club?
Yeah, maybe a strip club. It's usually the guy that his wife holds him like right under her thumb the entire time.
Yeah.
And the second he steps out of the house, he's like, boobs.
And then you leave the strip club, he's like, hey, none of this gets out. It's like, what? We literally just went and wasted money staring at naked women. Like, what are you talking about this? We didn't do anything. The Avalanche versus the Blues. I was watching that game on Monday night, and one of the worst feelings in playoff hockey is what the Blues went through, where they were up 1-0, and they had like 3 shots going into like the second period, and you just sit there and you're like, nope, this isn't good. This isn't sustainable. This is going to be a problem. We're definitely going to lose this game. And then the avalanched them, and I think they scored 3 goals in like a minute and a half. Yeah, and that was it.
What's going to happen with this series is going into every round, you're going to see the odds on the Avalanche, and you'll be like, that's way too heavy. Like, there's no chance. Why would anybody bet on that? You're basically throwing your money away because you're only going to win like $10 off a $100 bet or whatever it is. And then you're going to bet on the other team, and you're going to lose all your money doing that. And then you're going to do it the next round, and it's going to happen again.
Right.
I'm just convinced that the Avalanche, that this is their year.
This is their year.
I feel like they're just...
Or, well, maybe the Lightning.
Maybe the Lightning. That's going to be a good finals. I'm looking ahead to that already.
Lightning Canes, though. If it's Lightning Canes, the NHL, that's a tough conference final.
Lightning Hurricanes?
Yeah.
Put it on the Weather Channel, am I right?
Damn.
Yeah.
We should have Al Roker.
Jim Cantori.
And Avalanche.
Yeah. And the Avalanche.
Yeah.
And the Flames.
Yeah.
Or actually, it'd be better if it was the Oilers. One thing causes all the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Science talk.
Libcat.
Yeah. No, Democrat, remember?
Democrat, yeah.
Yeah, Democrat. Okay, let's do Hot Seat Cool Throne. It's brought to you by our friends at Skrill. New sponsor alert. Whoa, Skrill is the best digital wallet for gamblers because it was built for gamblers. Sophisticated gamblers use it to manage their bankroll, whether they're playing games like poker or betting on their favorite sports. They manage their bankroll using the wallet, which allows them to pay instantly and securely. It's payments without limits, basically. You can access your bankroll with instant deposits and withdrawals, and also draw the cash using your prepaid card. This gives you access to your bankroll whenever you're in the world. Wherever you are in the world, in any currency. Skrill thinks about your security relentlessly so you don't have to share your private financial details needlessly or repeatedly. Go to Skrill.com/Barstool. Sign up now. First 100 customers to sign up this week get $50 bonus in their Skrill account. Do it right now. Get $50 for free and then go bet it on the Avalanche. Skrill.com/Barstool. Sign up now. It is the best digital wallet for gamblers. Skrill.com/Barstool. Okay, Hank, Hot Seat Cool Throne.
Hot Seat is society / my brain. It's kind of in a pretzel with this new invention that's come out. Uh-oh. Don't really know what to do. I mean, I'm sure you guys remember, listeners to the show, back in 2016, I brought forward to the world the art of dipping your Oreos in water, essentially washing them. Tastes delicious, better than milk. If you haven't tried it, you should.
Of all the weird things you do,
people try to take that take from me, but it's
definitely top 2.
The date goes back for sure. But then today, I don't know if you guys saw this, there's a new cookie cracker sandwich invention.
All combined?
Half Oreo filling, and the other half is Ritz.
Okay.
I don't know.
And I don't know whether or not you're supposed to dip that or just rip it.
This is like a chocolate covered pretzel is what they're going for, it seems like.
That's why I kind of said my brain, like I need to try it because I can't really wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it sounds like one thing
that... It's a lot. 50% salty, 50% sweet, 100% with an emoji drooling.
Here's the thing. These marketing bastards know exactly what they're doing because there's guys like me out there that will buy these new fucked up novelty products once just to try it. So it could be like any new flavor of Doritos, I'm going to buy it once. Any new flavor of Gatorade, I'm going to buy that once. Any new combo, I'm going to buy that once. Any new Oreo, I will buy it once, and I always go back to the double stuff. Yeah. Nothing will ever beat the double stuff. Society peaked when we invented the double stuff. I don't care that they've taken a little bit of the stuffing out. I think what we have right now with that is just fine. But we keep trying to reinvent the wheel here when we have the best cookie ever right in front of our face.
You know what it is too is that you'll try it and then you will walk away being like, yeah, I miss Oreos and Ritz.
That's probably what it's about. It's like, you know what? For every package of these that we sell, they're going to suck enough that somebody will go back and buy regular Oreos just because they want those instead.
Right. Right. So I guess I kind of see the salty sweet thing. I just like to do it the old-fashioned way and go back and forth, switching back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Do you lick the cream off?
I do not. I scrape it.
Oh, with your teeth?
Yeah.
I don't like teeth.
My cool throne is the city of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Today, the NFL announced that Indianapolis will host the NFL Combine in both 2023 and 2024. So
good.
It seemed like it wasn't happening. I know we talked about it on this show, but cooler heads have prevailed. I don't know if the coaches, did a little silent uproar, but that seemed like something that the NFL would want to do in Dallas or in Vegas, and really up the production value, up the events of it. But cooler heads
Indy's
prevailed.
the best. Indy's the best city for it. They should never move it from Indy. It's perfectly set up for it, and coaches are creatures of habit. So we don't want to, rock the boat.
I think the NFL media too. I think Peter King probably wrote. He got on his Buzz Williams shit and just wrote Roger Goodell a letter every single day. Once he floated this idea out there, being like, "Don't move it from Indy."
Yeah.
I like going to the same bar every single year, seeing the same people, having the same conversation, eating the same steak. They are creatures of habit.
It's Groundhog's Day.
They love doing that, and I think what Goodell did here, I think this was a smart move by him to float out the idea of moving it, and then to be like, guess what? We're not going to move it. We're coming back. And now all the NFL writers are like, great job, Roger Goodell.
It's like when he took away touchdown celebrations, then brought him back.
That's
and then
the
he looks like a hero.
Oldest trick in the book.
And and Indianapolis has the added bonus that you can stay somewhere and never leave. You can never have to go outside.
Yeah, it's my dream.
If you can eat in the steakhouse in the hotel, you can walk in the concourse to the stadium, to the meetings, everything. Mm-hmm. That's a cool thing.
What they'll probably do, though, because the whole idea of moving it out of Indy was to get more money for the league.
Right.
They'll probably just sponsor the fuck out of every event at the Combine.
Yeah.
So it'll be like the Oikos 40-yard dash and the Pepsi bench press.
Right. And the Chevy Mike Silver drinks 5 bottles of wine at this steakhouse night.
Yeah. The Wonderlick, presented by Bud Light.
All right, PFT, your hot seat, cool throne.
My hot seat is Rex Chapman.
Ooh.
Our favorite TNT. What was he on? True
CNN
TV?
Plus. He had his own
CNN
show
Plus.
for a week.
He killed CNN Plus.
Blocker charge.
So it goes.
Bruh.
He's on the hot seat because Twitter got rid of the tweet video feature. So you can't do the thing where you hold down on the video and then you just tweet the video out. You have to quote tweet the entire tweet now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Press the video.
He's saved.
You hold down the video instead of just on your timeline.
No, I do that. But you can't do it anymore.
You have to click into it.
The actual video.
Oh, into the video. They
And
changed
then-
it. All right, so Rex
They
Chapman
added
is on the
one
cool throne.
Slight extra step.
Yeah, he'll be on the cool throne in 2 days once he listens to this podcast.
Yep.
And then figures that out. But I have noticed that I went back. I don't actually follow him on Twitter, but I went back and checked his timeline to see how this new feature is affecting him. And he's doing quote tweets now, but then he's going back and retweeting his own tweets like 4 hours later to get the extra engagement. That's always a real smart thing to do.
Yep.
So I guess he's on the hot seat and the cool throne at the same time.
I like it.
My cool throne, I've got two. My first one is Alex Caruso. He's on the cool throne because he is the last man on earth to get arrested for weed.
Yep.
He got arrested in College Station by Texas A&M police officers. Texas A&M just tweeted out today a picture of their grow op that they have on campus. They're just growing weed on campus now.
Damn.
And they're using it for like hemp and for I guess all sorts of stuff. But Caruso saw that and he was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Yeah.
You guys arrested me a year ago for having a grinder, and now you've got an entire wing of a new building dedicated to growing marijuana. So, free Caruso.
Yes.
I think we need to say as a podcast that like they need to expunge his record. I want a public apology.
Yeah.
To Alex Caruso
I do
for
too.
arresting him for having a
I
grinder
want
there.
Jimbo to give him a public apology while high.
This is what that would be a great idea. But if Nick Saban was smart, he would be talking about this, and not about the paying players. He'd be like, "Listen, you can go to College Station, but they'll arrest you if you have a joint
Yeah, and while growing weed in their backyard.
while growing weed in their backyard."
It's bullshit.
So free Caruso. Also, my cool throne is Mac Jones.
Oh, that was mine.
You want to take it?
Yeah, sure. He's
jacked.
He's already best shape of his life.
Yes.
Which is that good though? Year 2? Because you can't go better than best shape of your life.
No, you can get better.
You can maintain.
You can still be in the best shape. You can
I
be in
don't know
better
if-
shape.
No,
But
actually,
this-
no, yes, absolutely. You can have the best season of your life, and then the next season have a better season.
But
which
you
then
have-
becomes the best season of your life.
But you have one off season to come into the season best shape in your life.
Disagree.
I think that's how it works. I mean, it's good that he's best shape of his life. His stomach is no more, is what was said.
How are his eyes?
Six
Are they
pack
still
summer.
red?
Great.
Still red?
Yeah.
Weeping?
6-pack summer. Me and Max.
Are you ready to unveil?
In the summer, I will be.
Okay,
I'm
that's
getting
coming
there.
up.
Has
getting
he
there.
been working on his posture
Picture
for
me.
Matt Patricia? That's what I'm
Switching
worried
back
about.
and forth.
Hank, have you been following what's going on with the offensive side of the ball?
You talking about the coaching staff? Bill said that he has no concerns with the coaching staff, so I don't either.
Yeah, he said there's an open competition to see who's going to be the offensive coordinator.
That's good. Competition breeds greatness.
I've never heard that. Well,
It's training camp for coaches too.
It would be good to have competition, but the two people competing are Joe Judge and Matt Patricia to be offensive coordinator. Neither of whom
Matt
have
Patricia,
been,
offensive coordinator.
yes, offensive coordinator, and
that's
Joe
interesting.
Judge, offensive coordinator.
He's an offensive guy. No.
Matt Patricia,
Joe Judge
Judge
is
is special teams.
Yeah, pretty much offensive.
Close
Pretty much,
enough. Adjacent.
they have the ball in their hand for part of the plays.
Uh-huh.
So
Fake punts.
Yeah, that's. I would say it's alarming if Belichick said he wasn't concerned.
what do you think?
Otherwise, I would be like, "What the fuck is
Do you
going
think
on?"
Belichick would be like, "Hey, listen, I'm worried about our offense this year"? You think he'd ever say that?
Yeah, he's a pretty honest guy with the media.
I did like that he was wearing a Celtics hat. I love when coaches of other teams do that.
And all the Red Sox players are like going to and from the bus with like Celtics jerseys on.
Yeah, it
It's
is
good
funny
stuff.
whenever
City's coming together.
It's Nick Sirianni's wet dream. He's like, damn, I wish the Sixers were in the conference final. I could do that. All right, my hot seat. So that was my cool throw. My hot seat is balloons in Nebraska. So they are done with the red balloon tradition. Helium shortage is what they're claiming now. So it's been a tradition since the 1960s that in a Nebraska home game in football, everyone brings a red balloon. They score their first offensive touchdown. They all release it. Now, Trev Alberts, the AD, famously known as giving Scott Foster too many years, he has said that it's no more helium shortage in the world. I guess we get a lot of our helium from Russia. Didn't know that. And no more balloons.
Just like I thought it was like a 99 red balloon situation where they don't want to start a nuclear war. So
I
can't release them anymore.
Yeah, it's I hope they keep I think they will keep doing it. I think they tried to stop this a few years ago, and then fans just brought their own balloons because like there's not that big of a helium shortage, but it is funny for them to have like a presser and be like, yeah, no more red balloons, helium shortage.
Think of the turtles also. Don't the balloons just land in the ocean, kill turtles?
A guy did try to sue them in I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, being like the balloons land and then it's just waste. Like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, that's what happened. But
Right. But
do they really though?
But they also you need it for the touchdowns.
Do they really land?
I don't think so.
I don't think they do.
I think they go forever.
I think you release a balloon, and then at that point you're just like, that's someone else's problem. That's
Right.
God's problem right
and
now.
it's someone like 2 counties over's problem.
Yeah, I always assumed that it would just like go into the ocean somewhere, maybe go to the North Pole.
It would be funny if there was one guy in Nebraska, like, and the wind always went a certain direction. He's like, yeah, my farm has been ruined because every time they have a prolific offense, I just have balloons popped on my yard.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be like, he'd probably be pretty happy since like the 80s.
Yeah, it's been, I think that maybe that's why they're doing that. They're like, we just really don't want to be embarrassed when we don't score till the second half.
Well, there's nothing more sad than going to a Nebraska game and then going home with your balloon.
Yes.
They're probably just trying to limit that.
Yeah, but either way, that's a stupid thing to stop. Traditions are fun in college football. That's what makes college football is the traditions. So,
I also think that any tradition, if you do the math and you really calculate, okay, how much harm does this do to the environment? Almost every tradition sucks for the environment.
Yeah.
But guess what? We need some traditions.
we
to
need
carry on.
something to look forward to. Yeah. Jake, wrap us up with hot seat, cool throw, and then we'll get to George and Greg.
My hot seat's the Arizona Cardinals. They've been selected for the in-season Hard Knocks
Yes.
edition. Which, I mean, look, there's 2 ways to think of this. One, it's in the middle of college football, the World Cup, Feast Week, and the NFL season. So I don't know how many people are going to run to that. And B, it gives you an opportunity to tweet at Kyler.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Except
going to
you
be
can't.
fun to watch they probably have the best story arc of any team because the beginning of the Hard Knocks will be all cheery and awesome, and then everything will fall apart and it will be fun to watch.
Yeah, Kyler Murray might not even be on the team at that point.
That's true.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing like how I want to see Kyler when he knows he's on camera and see if he acts any differently than I've seen him in the past, where like he seems like he just doesn't care about like a lot. That's just like his normal personality is just kind of there.
Right.
I'm curious to see if he like hams it up for the cameras at all. If he tries to, JJ Watt.
Yes.
He's going to be there. I saw he tweeted out yesterday that he needs to bring back the Fort Minor.
Yes.
That would be great. If they're smart, they would have him do that.
If he did that, it would be very
Cliff
funny.
Kingsbury's house.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's true.
Maybe it's not really a hot seat, but
Okay, and your cool throne?
my cool throne is Mike White.
Yes.
Today, reminder was set. I have the clip from the November 5th podcast.
Let's go.
Remember Mike White Day.
I mean, the big winner of tonight for the Jets has got to be Mike White, though.
Yes.
Because he looked decent on a couple drives that he was in.
Everything we said when you're a backup quarterback in the NFL, the best thing you can do is have an awesome game and then immediately get injured and secure your status as an NFL quarterback for 10 years. Mike White, I'll remember Mike White. Jake put in a reminder, don't forget about Mike White. May 24th.
He's going to.
There we go.
It was the Thursday night game where he got hurt.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
We remember Mike
May
White.
24th. Here we are.
He does suck.
He was great that one game, then he got hurt.
I
Come
don't
on the
think,
pod. Come on the pod.
I don't.
on the pod,
Here's
Mike
the thing.
White.
I don't.
pretty sure he's an
I don't think
AWL.
that Mike White is good enough to suck.
was enthusiastic.
I think that he's just Mike White.
Mike White. Let me see. What were his stats after that? Because didn't he come back in and then suck?
Didn't they beat the Bengals?
Mike
Isn't
White.
that the
Yeah,
game
no,
where he
that
went
was
off?
that was the beginning of the Mike White. 5 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
I'm going through his timeline right now. Oh, March 25th was Mike White's birthday.
Ooh.
The Jets tweeted out, Uber Eats says, "Happy birthday, Mike White."
Nice. So yeah, remember he screwed up because he got hurt in that Indy game where he played well, but then he came back the next week and threw 4 interceptions against the Bills. That's what happened.
But we're remembering him.
We do remember it. We remember that he stinks. He's AWL.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Mike White, come on the show. I'll say it to your face. That's fine. I like Mike White.
Why do you think he's an
keeps his
AWL?
career.
I have a friend who's friends with him.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah.
How where'd that connection come from?
My
What
friend-
school did Mike White go to?
Well, he graduated Western Kentucky, but I believe he started at USF. My friend went to USF.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, fine. You talk me back into Mike White.
All right.
Okay, let's go to our good friends George Kittle and Greg Olsen, and then on the other side we have Bo Knows Ball with Bo Pelini. Questions from the AWLs with Bo Pelini in studio.
Greg Kittle and Greg Olsen, the Gregs, are brought to you by our good friends over at Upstart. Don't wait and check your rate today at upstart.com/PMT. Go to upstart.com/PMT. You can check your rate right now. A lot of people know it can be hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you have high interest debt. And sometimes it can even be harder to ask for help. That's where Upstart comes in. Upstart-powered personal loans can help you pay down high-interest debt all online with simple and easy-to-understand payment terms. Whether it's credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, Upstart can help you get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Their model considers other factors besides just your credit score. They consider your income, your employment, and other information provided in your loan application so that they can find you a smarter rate for your loan. You can check your rate in minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000 without impacting your credit score at all, and you can get the funds as fast as one business day. So don't wait. Check that rate today at upstart.com/PMT. That's upstart.com/PMT. Check your rate today. Don't forget to use our URL. Let them know that we sent you. And now let's get to the Gregs.
3, 2, 1. Okay, we now welcome on. Did you just steal my clap, George?
I think you saying 3, 2, 1 in the clap, it's an indication that everybody should clap.
But
though.
George stole my clap.
No, that's what I do on my podcast. We all clap.
Okay.
Oh, you have a podcast.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I do.
It's
I've
I have a
invited you both.
podcast
You
too. If
ignore
we
my
want to
text.
talk about it, if you guys want to talk about it, we can talk about all of our podcasts. That'd be great.
That
Yeah,
should be
you
this
stole-
entire interview is just like, let's talk about what you guys talk about in your podcast.
Yeah, no, and
Yeah.
Greg, we know you have a podcast because you stole Mikey podcast from us.
Correct.
Right.
You
Which
can talk
Greg?
about it.
Yeah,
we can talk about it.
So it's Greg Olsen and George Kittle. It's going to get confusing because we do call George Greg. They're on. They have tight end U coming up again, which is getting tight ends the recognition they deserve, which we can get into this, but I think you guys have too much recognition at this point. But I wanted to start with a softball. I have a softball for both of you. Who wants to go first? All right.
Kittle.
All right. George, your softball is when do you think Tom Brady will take Greg's job as the number one guy in the booth?
It's a great question.
I don't know. Greg kind of has this tenacity to him. I don't know if he's going to let anyone take his job.
Okay.
But it is Tom Brady, and there are 6 Super Bowls attached to that. So that's kind of also
Yep.
Wait, does he have
scary.
7? Does he have 7?
I think he's
7. Is it 7?
I think he has 7.
7. That's too many Super Bowls.
If he gets 8, I'm fucked.
You're fucked. All right, so Greg, my question for you, which is a softball, is Trey Lance or Jimmy G? Who's starting for the 49ers week 1?
Oh, I'm saying Trey Lance.
Okay.
Ooh.
And Greg, if for people who are listening, not watching, he's nodding with approval right now. So
am I?
Yeah.
And by Greg, they mean George.
This is who's on first.
I have no idea what's going on. Greg, are you going to mentor Tom Brady in the booth and train him on how to take your job?
Yeah, that's actually been a big part of the negotiations. No, I'm kidding. No, I have nothing to do. When I heard about the Brady news, I heard about it the same way everybody else did. Hopefully things are working out. We're talking to them now. We're in discussions about, what that looks like between now and whenever that day he retires, of, hopefully calling a Super Bowl and calling their A slate this year. So hopefully that works out. We're talking to them right now, but anytime you find yourself in a battle with Tom Brady, I think it's pretty clear who wins.
It is. I mean, you did a great job, your first year broadcasting this year, and it's going to be great to hear you on those premier games on Sunday afternoons. I would have to imagine there's a little small part of you that's like, oh, this kind of sucks. But if there's one guy in the world who you can't really be mad, it's the guy with 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah, if they would have hired someone, all along, we thought we were in the mix and we had good dialogue, and obviously they weren't going to tell us exactly what was going on behind the scenes. And, we had heard the same rumors everybody else did, and we were trying to make sense of it all. And then when the news came, it was like you just said, if it was someone else, like if I got jumped by someone else, I would have wanted to burn.
Yeah.
Sure. I would have wanted to burn the city to the ground, right? I would have been pissed and whatever. But when you lose out to Tom Brady, it's like, this sucks. At least he doesn't take the job now. Maybe I can have my time in the sun and keep his seat warm until he gets there. But yeah, if you're going to lose, at least lose to him, right? I mean, that I can at least live with. I got beat out. The only person in the world who beat me out was Tom Brady. I can live with that.
I think you got to root for him to not win a Super Bowl this year, because if he wins, I think that's when he does retire. But if he doesn't win one this year, then it's like, oh shit, he has to come back next year.
I personally think his career doesn't really. And I think you can't really make a judgment on his career until he has 8 Super Bowls. So I think he if he really wanted to achieve something, he should just continue to play and see if he can win another ring. Arians is gone. Win one for Todd Bowles. I think it's only fair that he wins one for the next guy. And if it doesn't happen this year, hopefully it's within the next 10.
George, I was just admiring, as Greg was talking, your ability to tie your hair up into that sick little top knot that you have. You were doing some intricate hand position. It took you about 45 seconds to do that. I don't know how that's done. I've had long hair for 10 years. I still don't know how to do what you just did.
My wife taught me.
Oh, well, she did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing origami with your hair.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
What's the new tattoo? I just saw it on your hand. Yeah.
Oh, it's Hobbs from Calvin and Hobbes comic.
Awesome.
Okay.
Is that real?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
There's nothing better than getting a new tattoo and having someone ask, "Is that real?"
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
What?
No, I know.
Didn't
All my teammates were like, "Is that a henna tattoo?" I was like, "Nah, it's not really my thing." I did get it on Sunday before I flew back, though. It was nice.
I love that. I feel like kids these days, they don't know about Calvin and Hobbes. It's one of the all-time greats.
You need to get. Yeah, they need to get on that. You'll learn something, maybe a thing or two.
Hey, was that last year that you showed us your ass tattoo?
Yeah, I think so.
It was. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
So
you never showed your ass though.
Yeah.
I don't have an ass tattoo. I have nothing to show. I got some hair. That's about it.
He's got a third leg.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that third leg.
Actually, at TEU, you know what you should do? You should just like sneak up behind him and then rip the back of his jeans off and expose his ass to the world.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yes.
What are you doing?
It's fun.
What's happening?
I mean, Billy, you can chime in anytime you want here.
Wait, is Billy here?
Yeah, he's here.
What's up? I'm off.
Billy, what's up, dude?
How you doing?
Dude, I've seen your legs a lot recently.
Yeah.
on the internet.
So it kind of all started where I've been taking my jeans to a laundromat and they're getting like pretty beat up and they've been ripping when I've been sitting down. So I had some like tinfoil ass jeans and there's been a trend going around where people ripping each other's pants. So I was like, we should do that, and we did. And it became a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem now. So it actually was like a TikTok, viral TikTok of, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. We were out in Vegas and Billy was like, hey, this is a viral TikTok. Basically, PFT and I, every day we just sit in the office and Billy comes up and he's like, hey, I need you to do this TikTok. And we don't even know where they go. He just like films us and then they just go out on the internet. So when he says, hey, I need you to rip the jeans off of my ass, I'm like, all right, fine. So I did it. Then we came back, and now it's become, we did it again. PFT did it to him. But now it's like real. Like now people are in the office are trying to rip the jeans off each other's asses.
I saw someone.
Yeah.
Was it PFT who tried to rip someone else and then he got like counter moved, like reverse 2 points?
Yeah.
He got taken down and your pants got ripped?
Yeah, so I mean,
I saw that.
I tried to rip Billy's ass off, and then
Right.
Billy defended against me because he was wearing Muggsy jeans, which don't rip, they stretch. And then he just pushed me off, and then he landed on me and ripped the back of my pants off. I wasn't wearing underwear at the time, and my balls just flopped out from behind.
Big balls.
Yeah.
They're like normal sized balls.
You can see. Well, you can
Small
judge.
person.
You can judge for yourself on TikTok if you go follow. Pardon my take.
Well, you can't
I might go
anymore
look.
because Billy.
I might go look.
I saw the video. Billy showed it to me, and I was like, "That's a funny video." Like objectively speaking, male nudity usually plays. I didn't know that my balls popped out because I didn't watch it in slow mo. Billy uploaded it to TikTok, and then I watched it in slow mo. And I was like, that's just my nutsack. It flops back. It's very funny to see. Like it pops up like a carp coming to the top of a lake and then drops immediately back down. And I was like, Billy, please delete that from TikTok. He deleted it, but then some people screen grabbed it pretty quickly. So the one that's on TikTok now is censored, but the original uncut, there was balls. But I'm of the mindset that like balls are always funny.
Yeah, I think balls are what they are, right?
Yeah. No, they're very funny. George's looking.
I'm glad we got
now.
to the bottom of that. I was waiting. I was looking forward to this for no other reason than I was trying to wrap my head around what was happening.
Wouldn't like a good defense system just be like cut the pockets off your jeans?
That's probably the next thing up. But
that's what you think.
Yeah,
smart.
that would definitely make it more like if you start a rip, it would be very easy to rip.
I know, but if you just cut the pocket out, then there's nothing to grab.
I think it's just assless chaps. You got to wear assless chaps everywhere.
That always.
I don't hate it.
That also becomes
that.
like a challenge. If you cut the back pockets off entirely, it's like daring other people. Like, you can't rip these jeans. Even God himself could not rip them. I think that like we go through these types of scenarios as a podcast a lot where like 4 years ago, we got really into sack tapping each other. And then you go too far. You're walking around in fear all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I hit Big Cat so hard that I thought that he would never have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Fact check, false.
Yeah.
And then
Prove that wrong.
We just realized, okay, we've gone too far. We need to stop. I think we've reached the point where we've been too far because Billy got Will Compton and just like tore a leg off of his pants.
Right.
That was awesome.
I think
I know, but Will deserves that.
Yeah, he does. But no,
He's a Nebraska guy.
Yeah,
he deserves that.
You're absolutely right. But PFT's right. Like Barstool here, our office is already crazy enough. When you add the element of like, will I have my pants ripped off my body at any moment? It becomes very tough to just live day to day.
It's like walking around a locker room.
yeah. But if you
Like
guys
back when you were allowed to like towel snap somebody, like in high school, you know, like when you were a freshman, they're not allowed to do that anymore. I think you get like kicked out of school. But like when we were growing up, like the young kids would walk around in fear going to the shower because the older seniors would like, you know, make a towel snake and like snap them in the ass. It's like, I get it. I've been there.
I think if you guys are looking for something to be instantly viral for TEU, a video of that would be very funny. Like you just absolutely pantsing Johnny Smith or something like that.
We just go around and just pull each other's Levi's off.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that
wow,
works.
They're a sponsor. They're a sponsor. Nice plug.
That was a good plug.
Record.
Yeah, that
Thanks.
is.
Yeah.
So I said it at the beginning, but do you guys think
like I know that when you started TEU, it was like, hey, tight ends, all of us getting together, teaching each other stuff, like it's a brotherhood. But I feel like tight ends get more respect than any other position at this point. It's become the position in the NFL where it's like if you don't have a great tight end, you're in trouble.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I definitely think there's more respect coming our way. But if you look at like the last, however, how many Super Bowl winning teams, every team has had like a really, really talented tight end on their team.
To George's point, I think part of the evolution of the position has and what was cool is, when I came in the league, there was a handful of guys, right? There was Gates and there was Witten and there was Gonzalez and, there was a handful of guys, and then everybody else was just kind of run of the mill, give or take. And now, to George's point, almost every prominent team, prominent offense, playoff contender, Super Bowl contender has a legit dude at the position. I think you can see it now in how they're getting paid. I think you can see it now in their production. I mean, you look at George, you look at Kelsey, you look around the league, Mark Andrews. I mean, the Darren Waller. I mean, the production that these guys are having. When I first came in the league, if you wanted to be a top 10 tight end in the league, if you had 500-600 yards, you would be in the top 10. Now you get 500-600 yards, like you're an afterthought. You're a guy that doesn't really get. It's just a completely different world, and I think it's a credit to more people want to play the position because it is a little bit more highly thought of. It's a little more acclaimed. In years past, these bigger guys would go play defense or they'd, get smaller and go play wide receiver. Now guys they grow up wanting to play tight end, and I think we're getting better athletes to play the position, and as a result, more and more guys are entering the league that are capable of doing it.
Yeah. But you've got I feel like National Tight End Day over the last couple of years, it's kind of like it's become a look at me thing for you guys, whereas before it was like tight ends, gritty position, almost like the flashier nephew of the fullback. Now it's like you got your own holiday. Like a lot of people are saying like it's become a little too showy.
Are you saying that we sold out?
I'm not saying that.
Other people are telling you?
Some would say that. Let's just say, hypothetically, if Billy said that to you guys, what would you say?
I'd rip his pants off.
Well, but it's who's getting snubbed this year? Because I know that's like who's coming to the tight end U? Because I thought that last year was there a couple guys who were a little hurt that they didn't get the invite.
Tebow,
yeah, Tebow.
Tebow.
Probably. I mean, I think we're not going to lie. Last year, we totally underbooked. We did not think that we would get as many guys down. I think when me and Greg and Travis first talked about it, our goal was like 20 to 25. And it was like, we're going to have some fun with it. And then next thing we know, we're at 40. And then come like the first day, we're at 49, 50 guys. And yeah, we definitely had to turn some guys away. And that's the whole point of this year is we're trying to make it open to almost everybody.
And what weekend is that?
June 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Okay. Very cool.
Why don't you guys come? Is there a chance you guys make it down there?
So Billy's going to try to get an invite, and I don't think we trust him to go by himself. That's the Barstool Idol week is that week. So we got to
huge week.
Next, like you got to tell us when it is next year, and we'll make sure that we have it completely blocked off.
Love that.
Like I'm in.
We'll do that.
But it just so happens, yeah, Billy's been like he's trying to get an invite. But I don't know. We got to see how
I was so well behaved in Vegas.
We got to see how well he's acting. Because Billy, you guys could maybe help us with this. Because you guys have been in the league for a long time. And you ever have a teammate who, after a good game, you can just tell maybe their effort isn't the same in practice next week? They kind of sit back a little and they're like, I fucking rocked. I'm the man. I don't have to do this anymore. We deal with that a little times. Yeah, like Billy has actually been doing a great job. All compliments to Billy. But every time I do give him a compliment, we usually have like a 4 to 5 day Billy's going to go get drunk and we won't hear from him.
I mean, I'm not going to make you not do that, Billy. That kind of sounds like a fun invite.
This is what we're afraid of.
Yes. So
some guys want to rest on their laurels. Some guys think they've arrived. Some guys have the number one show on the internet, and they just keep banging away every week and grinding. There's two different types of people, and if Billy can't handle the success, that's going to be a problem.
How about this? What we should do is we should say that we will send Billy, but we'll put a chart up on the wall, and he gets a sticker for every good day that he has here. If he
it's like a Buckeye.
Yeah, exactly, like a helmet sticker on the wall, and he has to collect a certain amount of those to be able to go, and he won't know until like the last week whether or not he'll attend.
My kids collect emojis. It's what we do with my kids. Big Cat, you can steal this idea when your kids get older. We do emojis and we keep track of it in our notes section. So every single time they do something like above and beyond what they're expected to do, like be nice to their sister or, whatever they're supposed to do, and they go above and beyond, they get an emoji and they can pick it, whatever emoji they want. And sometimes they pick funny ones and they don't even know it. Like there's like 5 eggplants in my wife's notes section. It's fucking awesome. And then they can cash them in for like prizes or a new whatever. Like they can cash them in. It's almost like fake money kind of thing for deeds. So that's parenting 101 and also a very good idea by you guys. PFT, good call.
That's genius. Yeah, we got to do the emojis. So we're gonna keep track of Billy's emojis. If he gets like, I don't know, let's say 15 emojis by the time it comes around, maybe we'll send him. But he has been doing a lot better. It's just one of those situations that like there's a world where Billy was well behaved in Vegas just so that he could go to tight end U. Like you know what I mean? So we just got to be aware of everything with Billy. He's always scheming. So there's a good chance he'll get there. Enough. He's got to earn it.
Just wondering, did you guys see my write-up on tight end U from last year?
We saw it.
Yeah. I mean, I just think I'd be a very good...
I didn't love it.
I know.
Could have been better.
I mean, it was all I saw, so if I was there, I'd probably be able to get a better...
Give some good coaching points?
Yeah, get a better...
all I know is if you do come this year, you got to be better than that. I thought your article last year was shit.
Yeah, I mean, do you know the title of the article?
I blocked it out from my brain.
Tight End University, a party school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not taking them serious.
You're putting labels on us, Billy.
Yeah, I didn't see the work from the social media output. I saw yoga and shotgunning beers in bathtubs.
The shotgunning beer, just so you know,
Bud Light cooler.
Yeah, the shotgunning beers. All this shit does take a lot of money, just for the record. So. Yeah, there is some stuff that we have to do to pay the bills because when guys come in and George throws them a great party in his hometown of Nashville, shit ain't free. So we are very fortunate that we have great partners. We've already gotten 2 of them in very organically, and now I'm going to throw in the third one, not quite as organic, but Charmin, you can see it on George's shirt. They are a presenting sponsor, and if you don't get it, guys, they take care of your tight end.
Backside. I was going to say because you guys have gotten baby shit soft.
Yeah, that's pretty soft.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. I'd say it goes both ways. I think it can depend on which angle you're coming to it from. But all the sponsors are what makes all of this possible. To host 75 to 100 guys this year and put everybody up in Nashville and bus them around and host events and, rent Vanderbilt and all that. We're fortunate that we have great partners and we get to throw what we think is, of all these positions that host these events, ours is the best. And a big part of that is because we can treat our guys really well because of our partnership dollars, and then everything we don't spend goes to charity. So
I also
it's a win-win for everybody.
I'll say something nice about tight ends. I think that you have the coolest people playing the position in the NFL right now. If you look around, like per capita, tight ends, those are mostly guys that I would want to hang out with.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. We actually do want to come next year. We will absolutely make a trip of it and just interview all the tight ends. I have a question for you, Greg, because you're retired, so you can speak on this more. Did you ever have a situation when you were playing that maybe like a star player wanted a new contract or wanted to be traded? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, there was times where I wanted a new contract. I never demanded that a team traded me, but I'm all for that shit. I think everybody should be able to get their money, get what they're paid. And I think, and last year people got crazy when I made that comment. I was actually on here talking about TEU, and I made the comment about tight ends don't get paid enough, and people brought up my contract earnings that I was complaining. Making money in the NFL is not, yes, the money's important and all that. It's about respect amongst your peers. Like when everybody's chasing that next contract, all they're asking is that they get paid accordingly based on their production, their value to the team, and in accordance with other players at their position. So when George is up for a new contract, it's not that 10 million isn't enough or that 5 million isn't enough. If the top tight ends make 16, he should make that just because he's amongst the top players, if not the best at the position, him and Travis and whatnot. So like, it's kind of a pride thing. And then everyone just uses the money as the scale. So yeah, when a star guy wants a new contract, like if he's deserving and his play and his history on the field is in accordance with someone else at a higher level of income, I think that guy should make all the money he can.
And how would you act if he like removed all mentions of your team from social media, like took him out of the bio, all that type of stuff?
I probably would offer a pay cut.
Yeah.
Like the type of guy that I am, I'd probably go to management and offer some of my salary to make this hypothetical player happier.
Well, let's just go farther than hypothetical. He's an elite wide receiver who also runs the ball. Let's just pretend that's who we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's, and again, whether that's a real person or not, I think just for argument's sake, it's a good comparison.
Yeah.
It's a good talking point. You know, I think if you say you're on the same side of the ball.
Yes.
Right? Say you're on the same side of the ball, just to further the conversation even deeper. I think it's what you're obligated to do, especially if you happen to have a young quarterback potentially coming into the role.
Right.
But some guys are just built different than others.
Yeah. And as a tight end that would be on that side, it's like you're responsible and you take a lot of pride in your blocking. So a lot of those holes that are opening up are also because of the work that you're putting in on there. So how do you weigh, okay, I deserve this much money, which I may have just been paid on a new contract, versus how much do I want to pay to my teammate to keep him around?
Right. Give up.
It's a really,
this is a great hypothetical, boys.
Yeah. Well, it's just we're throwing it out.
It's called using your imagination.
Yeah. But I like the idea that like if you're a really good teammate and a really good, you're a tight end brotherhood, you should give up some of your money for this other guy.
Even though he's not a tight end?
No, right. But that's especially because he's not a tight end.
Kind of plays like a tight end.
Yeah, we bridge the gap between positions. Olive branch.
Like Hank, for example, gave up a lot of his salary to keep us happy here. Mm-hmm. So we think of ourselves as more than a team, really a family.
Right.
Is Hank there too?
No, he's our boss now. He's upstairs.
He's closing deals.
Yeah. No, I'm not. You're laughing. He's wearing a suit. He literally comes in every day. He commutes. He's like, think of like the most quintessential New York scene, hustle and bustle, a bunch of suits walking down the street. Hank is just one of those guys in the rat race. That's what he does every day.
He's got a Bluetooth earpiece now, too.
Yeah. All right, I have one last question for you guys. Tight end U, coming up. We're going to be there next year. I'm putting a guarantee on this, okay? We're going to be there next year. We just need the dates beforehand. We'll come. We'll even teach a class. You want us to teach a class? How about we'll teach a class on what to say and not say about Deebo Samuel's contract situation on a podcast, okay?
Do you have any tips right now?
What would you say?
I would say,
what would you say?
I would say I love Deebo so much I'll play for free so he can be on my team.
Okay. You would say that?
I would personally say I love Deebo so much wherever he goes, I go.
Yeah, I'd play in the NFL right now for free.
How come you guys didn't give up any money for the Caller Daddy girls to stay at Barstool?
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
We actually
did.
You
guys gave up your money?
More than money.
All of it. Our
you gave up your pride,
everything.
money.
Yep. They own Sophia with an F owns Pardon My Take. I don't think you knew that.
We got to do an ad break. If you're having any issues doing the Gluck Gluck 9000, try For Him's throat numbing spray. Use promo code Gluck for 20% off. All right, sorry about that. Back to you guys.
All right,
actually, Hank. The truth is, Hank fired him.
Yeah, Hank fired. He's just cutting everyone over here. He's actually be careful, Greg, because Hank has enough power now that he'll cut your podcast, even though you don't even work for us.
I don't love that.
Yeah.
Hey, Big Cat, does your kid play any youth sports that you want to be a guest?
He's 2.5. We played soccer last summer, and he just chased pigeons around.
Can he use both feet?
No, he just picks the ball up and then
so he's the goalie.
There was, you know what it was? The problem was there was this one kid who would always come late and the kid's mom would bring fruit snacks. So like the kid would show up, my son would be like kind of in it for, it's fucking 2-year-old soccer, whatever. He'd be like kind of like following along for like 10 minutes. Then this kid would come with the mom and the fruit snacks and it would just be over. He'd just be like, all right, it's fruit snack time. And it's just like the next 30 minutes was just, there was nothing left. So I got to
cover that.
Yeah.
We covered that on our last episode, how to prevent distraction at practice.
Yes.
I feel like you could be a nice guest on it when we do a follow-up to that episode.
Yeah. Tell that mom to fucking keep her fruit snacks
Tell the mom
at
to
home.
stay she's got to stay in the car.
Yeah. All right. So my last question, it's a Roback question. RHOBACK. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Okay, real question for both of you. You can start, Greg. Tight end U has been awesome. What is this, year 3?
2.
Tell me what it looks like year 10. Are you guys someone told me that you guys are basically doing this so you can become their agents and make billions. Is that true?
Listen, I wish
that's Greg's goal.
Yeah, that is not my goal. I think the ultimate end game for this, I think if we could dream up a scenario where this would grow is obviously right now we're focused on servicing the professional levels, whether that's an undrafted rookie to perennial Pro Bowlers with George and Travis and everybody in between, right? So I think this year will take us, 75, give or take, guys at the professional level. I think now, especially with NIL, an opportunity with younger amateur players to now come around and be around events that are driven by sponsors and partnerships. I think if we could bring in and grow both the college and then beneath that, like a youth component and make TEU like more of like a track where we can get our hands on, guys that are coming up through the ranks at tight end that are playing high school ball. We can get involved with them, coach them, almost like a Manning passing academy type thing. Then have them back through their college careers. And then, of course, for those who make it, have guys and like whoever that first like lifer is, the kid who came in high school, college, and pro, maybe one day that happens. Like, I think there is a larger play at this. We run this as a nonprofit. The money that takes to run from all the sponsors and whatnot pays for the event. And then everything else, Boys and Girls Club, we partnership with Bridgestone on a camp and donate to a lot of Nashville area charities. So like, everything else goes to nonprofit. So I think it's just our way of being around the guys, hanging out with the guys, and passing the torch, right? Continuing to build the position and get some of the best minds in the game together. And hopefully one day that trickles down to the younger class of high school kids who want to come learn from the best guys in the world at what we do. And if in 10 years we were at that level, I think TEU would be a really special summer event that everyone kind of marked their calendars with.
That's awesome. All right. Yeah, go ahead, George.
Just on top of that, like connecting the high school players, the NFL players, and then between one of the cool things we're doing this year too, we're bringing back NFL legends. And so and I can kind of just be I don't know, not a safety net, but just a connection for every single tight end in the NFL and high school and college. I would just be really fun for all those guys just to learn and really vibe together, honestly.
I love it. Billy's got his hand up. He's had his hand up for the last 30 minutes, so we're going to call on Billy here.
I was just wondering, serious question. Have you been, trying to create something for tight ends much like the Manning Passing Academy or one of these?
I think you just said that.
That's what that is.
I think they literally compared it to the Manning.
We just said that. Yeah. Billy, that's not an emoji. That's not a gold star.
No, we're taking an emoji away. I think what happened was just to translate, Billy had his question before you answered yours, both of you guys. So he had his hand raised and he wasn't listening because he was like, I have something I have to say. And then you guys answered that.
You got to be able to multitask. Have you ever been in a relationship? You're going to get yelled at that a lot.
Let's get a headline grab real quick. Get some buzz going for TEU. George, do you want to play football until you're 40 years old?
If my body allows me, I'd love to.
Okay. Greg, do you want to call games as the Fox broadcast a game for the next 20 years?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So Tom Brady, watch out, bro.
Not a good mentor.
Wow. Yeah. Can you do the Ryan Tannehill with Tom Brady?
I was just going to say, I'm like Tannehill.
It's not my job.
It should be. You're not a good teammate.
Yeah.
I was literally just going to say the same thing. I'm like Tannehill when he got bashed for saying that he was going to look after his own job before he taught his guy who was going to steal his job.
Yeah, how would that work for you guys? Did anybody mentor you when you got? I guess that's what TEU is for, right? To have older guys that might not be on your team to talk to you about their craft and how to do it. But did anybody on your team, when you guys ever got into the league, were they like, hey, here's what I've learned, here's how you can be successful, or was it like, it's up to you, you're a grown man, figure it out?
When I got drafted to Chicago, they had a really good veteran tight end, Des Clark. He wasn't old. He was in the meat of his career. He was accomplished, just started for them in the Super Bowl, was a really good player. And he treated me great. By no means did he roll over and die and say all right, you got drafted, you're a first round pick, take my position at all. But he was great to me. He always answered my questions. He was always fair. But when it came time to practice, he came every day saying this rookie's not going to take my spot. And then that was kind of my approach my whole year. I had a million young tight ends come through over 14 years that I shared a room with. And my philosophy to them was always, I'm going to always help you. I'm always going to answer your questions. I'm always here. If you have something you want to talk about, ask about, you want to watch film with me, like I am all for that. But I'm going to make it so hard for you to ever take my job. And that's not personal. That's not because I'm not trying to sabotage you at all. I'm here to help you. But when it's time to go, like, I'm not giving you one of my reps. I'm not going to take myself out of the game to like get you experience. Like, that's not my job. I will help you. I will help you learn. I will meet with you before practice, after practice, watch film with you. But when it's time to go, like, you're going to have to take my spot and kill me before I give it to you. And I think that's everybody's approach. And then one day the young guy does take your spot and then you retire and you run a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And good luck with Tight End U this year. Let's get us the dates for next year. We'll build an entire grit week around it. We don't care.
I love that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we'll do it all. We want to do it all. So it didn't work out this year, but yeah, we're in. So let's get ahead of it, and then we'll just block off the whole week and be like, fuck it. We're going to come to Nashville, and we're going to get fucked up. Billy, you can't listen to that part. Billy's not allowed to drink on the road.
Not?
No, but maybe for Tight End U, I'm starting to think
one night.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna give him.
Bud Light's a sponsor.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him an emoji. I'm giving him an emoji.
But he fucked up the man in question.
Yeah, but I'm giving him an emoji just because he's down on himself for that, and that's showing like he cares.
Well, he's down on himself because he thinks that
Billy,
he's
you
not
get in the
gonna be able to
camera?
get drunk.
Yeah,
Billy, can you stand in front of the? Oh, there he is.
Why doesn't
if Billy, that's worth an emoji? He knows how to listen.
Hey, if Billy could do 275 right now, one time in front of you guys, he'll get an emoji.
Done.
Okay, that's easy.
All right,
Billy.
Easy. He says that's easy. We'll end with this.
Hold on. Let me see his body.
Let's see his
Stand
body.
in front of the camera.
Show your body.
He doesn't have pockets on his pants.
Take your shirt off.
Can you take your shirt off for this?
He wants to see your shirt. They want to see your bod.
Can you take your shirt off?
I want to make a bet, but I got to take a look at what he looks like.
He's done it before, but this is a little more pressure because you guys are watching.
Dan, will you tell him to take his shirt off?
Take your shirt off. George wants you to take your shirt off. All right. Oh, they said you're disinvited if you don't take the shirt off.
What?
Billy, take your shirt off.
How much weight did you just put on
said
there?
that.
Time out. How much weight is on there?
275.
What kind of?
Yeah, what are those weights?
What are those plates?
No warm up.
Wait, are you really not going to take your shirt off? You're a rookie. Take your
45,
shirt
20.
off.
Yeah, wait. They are saying that you're not invited if you don't take your shirt off.
Take your shirt off.
George is saying he's got to take his shirt off. All right.
Thank you.
There it is. All right, look.
This guy's big.
I'm
This
even
guy's gonna
starting. I'm showing right now.
I want to know. Hey, can you ask him why at 275 is there 100?
Knocking everything over. It's like a fucking
chaos
earthquake. I'm starting my notes app right now. The Billy T EU.
What emoji are you going to use?
What do we use? I think maybe just the arm, the strength.
Yeah, arm. I think it's got to be the bicep.
This is incredible.
All right,
Billy. Wide grip. He's got a wide grip.
He got it. He got it. Way to go. Arm.
Wow.
The guy did it.
Okay, Billy gets you get an emoji.
You just pop a pec?
I'm giving him, look, I just gave him one strength emoji. Look at that, Billy. I think you have to have 15 emojis on me and PFT's phone individually. So 30
Did you just
total.
pop a pec?
Yes, okay.
No, we want you to earn it.
Yeah, we want you to earn it.
You know how much more you're going to enjoy this if you earn it?
Big Cat.
Yeah.
Big Cat. Ask him if he just popped his pec.
Did you just pop your pec?
No, he's fine. He's crying about it. He's got like a little sore shoulder. This happens every day.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Good job, Billy.
He's like Big Ben. He just like every injury, like, oh, this hurts.
I don't like the way he's holding his shoulder.
He's fine. Trust me, I've seen this a million times.
That would be so funny if he
Can
got
we talk about why you guys have so many plates on for 275? What kind of plates are those?
These are bumpers.
45, 25, 35, 10s.
That's the most ridiculous way to get the 275 I've ever heard.
Yeah, we don't have enough 45s.
That's all the weights that we have.
Yeah, so
we were doing max Tuesdays, but then we ran out of weights. And so it's just kind of like, I guess we just I guess we benched all the weight in the world.
Yeah.
You can't get any
Thank
stronger.
God you don't have more. This guy's pec would shred off.
Oh, he's hurt. He's hurt.
Fine.
All right.
He's fine.
I'm going to call it right now. He's hurt. I can see it in his eyes.
He's hurt, not injured.
He's saying he had no warm-up, so he's hurt.
I've seen guys get hurt before. His face looks hurt.
No,
Yeah,
he's
that
playing
too.
tough, but yeah, I think he's hurt.
He's got resting
I
hurt
think
face.
he's hurt.
Yeah. I'm going to actually
Billy,
give
don't
him,
hurt
you know
yourself.
what? Because he's hurt, I'm going to give him the hospital emoji, too. So he's got 2 on my book.
That's 2. Good job, Billy.
All right, boys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Good luck at TEU, and we'll talk soon.
All right, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks. Good job, Billy.
That was the Gregs. Next up, we've got Bo Pelini with Bo Knows Ball. Before we get to Bo, I want to talk to you about our good friends at HelloFresh. They deliver pre-portioned ingredients to your door so you get convenience without skimping on quality. Skip the trip to the grocery store and don't waste money on excess food. HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant. It's even cheaper than grocery shopping. That's right, cheaper than grocery shopping. That's money back in your pocket. And best of all, their food is awesome. They can diversify your dinner menu. They've got seasonal spring recipes like sweet heat shrimp tempura bowls, garden spinach ricotta ravioli. I'm going to say it like Giada. Garden spinach ricotta ravioli. And one-pot creamy lemon dill chicken soup. Pick your favorites from 50 different weekly options and skip weeks when you need to. You can change your delivery date. If you go on vacation, let them know. Not a problem at all. You can update your preferences all in the HelloFresh app. It's delicious food. It's easy to make. It's healthy. It's tasty. 6-pack summer. Get some HelloFresh. They'll be your guiding light all the way into having that shredded ab that you've been dreaming about. We love HelloFresh. They save you time. They've got great recipes. They make cooking easy and fast. Go to HelloFresh.com/PMT16. Use code PMT16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's up to 16 free meals. That's a lot of meals and 3 free gifts. Go to HelloFresh.com/PMT16. And now here is our good friend, Bo Pelini.
Okay, we're going to finish up the show with one of our favorite recurring guests, longtime friend. It is Coach Bo Pelini. In studio, we're going to do a little listener questions. Bo Knows Ball. All the AWLs wrote in for you, Bo, so that we can answer their questions. But before we do that, you have a new podcast. It is called Beyond the Playbook. You and your son, coming out soon, right? People can get it soon.
Yeah, it should be sometime either later this week or next week. So
okay,
it should be cool.
That we're very excited for that. We'll put this in the we'll tweet it out and make sure everyone knows where to find it. Before we get to the questions, have you commented yet on the Saban versus Jimbo rivalry? Were you shocked? Because it did feel like those guys both kind of broke a code, so to speak, of pointing fingers at someone else.
Yeah, I didn't see Saban's comments. But, the thing that's interesting about it is, and Jimbo's a friend. I have a lot of respect for Nick. I've known him for a long time. What did he say? My point is he didn't say. What he said about. I don't know if he was even trying to be critical.
No, well,
they bought their class, right?
Right. So I think what he was doing, he was talking to business leaders from the Tuscaloosa area. So I think what he was trying to say is, like, we got beat in recruiting this year by Jimbo and A&M because they're paying kids. Can we please have some of that money so we don't get beat again?
Right.
I think that's what he was saying. But the way that it came across was saying, Jimbo Fisher buys all his players and buys his recruiting class. And then Jimbo was like, wait a sec, he took offense to that, then fired back at Nick being like, hey, I know
Which that's the part I didn't understand why he took offense to it. It's legal now.
Yeah, right.
A few years ago I would have taken offense.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if it's legal or if it's just not illegal. You know,
right.
Like we're kind of in this weird gray area with the NIL where nobody really knows what the law is yet.
Right.
Well, you can pay kids.
Right.
Or you can guarantee them money. You're not doing it personally. Jimbo's not out there giving them money, but it's the alumni. It's with the companies around Texas A&M.
I actually like this take because I haven't heard it that like both sides shouldn't be offended because that's kind of the way it is now.
Yeah, that's what I don't get right now. Why they change the rules? The NCAA, they're the ones who created this.
Right.
And all Jimbo did was, you can agree with it or not agree with it, but they spent the money. Everybody can spend it. Go find the money and spend it. I heard they spent a lot of money on their recruiting class.
It would have been interesting if Jimbo had flipped it and used it as a positive and been like, yeah, we have a very wealthy, tapped-in alumni base that wants to see the school do well. Come to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
It kind of is like
Isn't that really what's going on?
Yeah, right.
It also tells me that Jimbo is like, I think he had he had real thin skin on what Nick said, meaning that they did not like each other beforehand. Like Jimbo was looking for a reason to be offended by what Nick Saban was saying. So he took, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. In a way, like what Nick Saban said was literally the truth about what has happened at Texas A&M. And then Jimbo was like, wait a second, and got pissed off about it. So that just means that Jimbo hates Nick Saban.
Things have changed a lot in the last couple of years if Jimbo hates Nick Saban, because, I mean, they work together, and, I mean, Jimbo is where he is because, because he worked under Nick, and that's a big part of why he got the opportunities that he got. And I don't know, but, I don't know if Nick was – I didn't actually see the comments and hear how he said it, but it is what it is. I mean, it's legal.
Yeah. When we like as fans, we see guys who work together going back at each other. We're like, wait, that's weird because they worked together and they should have a relationship. Is that a misconception from our part? Like when guys work together, if they work for a few years together, they could equally be as enemies or friends walking away from that. Is that fair?
Absolutely. You could be close, or it could drive you apart. I mean. Everyone's different to work with. I mean, there are guys that I worked with that I'm tight with, and there are guys. I mean, I wouldn't say anybody's my enemy, but,
right?
But it's different. I mean, you work with people every day, and some people you're close with, and some people, you just don't see eye to eye with.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
I hate Glenny Balls. Like there's a guy out there, Glenny Balls. Everyone thinks that we're totally friends. I want to slit his throat.
I thought you said Sweaty Balls.
Sweaty Balls. No, we need to hire a guy named Sweaty Balls to take Glenny's job, get him out to paint.
We should.
No, I love Glenny. But what about you and your brother? So you and your brother, have you guys gotten closer over the years? Or were there years where it was like, I can't stand being in the same room as this guy?
I was never you never felt like that. At least I didn't. I mean, that's, to me, blood's, it runs thick. But, obviously we had our disagreements, and sometimes that might have been harder, having a brother, I mean, because it gets a little more personal at times. But, to me, it was always, when you leave the office, you leave that, you leave it behind, and it's, you got to be able to separate all those things. And I think that's the biggest problem that a lot of people have, especially in sports, is being able to leave it behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been reading some articles about going back and reading about the Harbaugh brothers and how John Harbaugh, he'll do this thing where during the season he brings his cot into his office and he sleeps in his office. So he goes home for maybe like 2 hours a day, 1 day a week, and then maybe like on a Saturday he'll if they have a home game, he'll spend time with his family. But to me, that always felt like diminishing returns, where as a coach you want to be like, yeah, I'm the first one in, last one out, I work hard, I watch a lot of film, do all this prep. But if you're a head coach that's spending like every single second of every single day at your office, I feel like that's almost counterproductive at some point, right?
I never bought into that. Believe me, I put time in, and I never bought into you don't need, it's not rocket science. It's football. And if you're spending that kind of time and you don't have a chance to go home, see your family, see your wife, I mean, there'd have to be a major hurricane. It would have to be like something crazy would have to happen for me not to go home.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you have to be able to separate those.
Yeah.
To me, otherwise you're going to get burned out.
Right. And you're also not going to be a human being. Like that's
it's crazy.
Being a human being for your players is part of it as well, where you're not just, a football robot. Okay. So we had people write in. Jake has the questions. Bo knows ball. This is gonna be good. We'll do like guys on chicks or blue collar questions. Today we're gonna do football questions with Coach Bo. Jake, take it away.
All right. It seems like players switch positions over the course of their development in football more than any other sport. Is that accurate? And if so, is it because if you're a true football guy deep down, you'll find a place to be successful on the field and make it to the pros, even if it takes a few tries?
Ooh, good question. So players switching positions back and forth.
I think everybody's body, people's their bodies change. You might have. I think it happens a lot. I think it to me it doesn't happen enough. I think some guys' stubbornness not to change positions costs them a future, And your body's going to change from being in high school to college to, long term as far as what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, and I think that there's countless. I can think of guys that even offensive line and defensive.
Yeah,
line.
like so. How tell me how that, like, if you had an offensive lineman, what are you looking at where you're like, this guy would be better on the defensive line?
As far as it's probably athleticism, like Taylor.
Yeah,
he could have. To me, he could have been a D lineman because he was such a freak athlete. But I think of a guy that when I was at LSU, he was a top 5 draft pick. This is my first time at LSU back in the 2006, 2007, and it didn't take long for me to say, he didn't have that quick twitch.
Yeah.
To be a D, and I told him, I said, you need to move to the offensive line, and he looked at me like, God, I was top 5 player in the country, and I said, you're going to be a good defensive lineman, you'll play, and you're going to contribute. But I said, if you want to make $1 gazillion, you should go to the offense.
And did he switch?
He ended up switching.
And who was that?
He didn't. Joe Barksdale.
Okay. Yeah.
And he didn't switch right away. I think he waited till like maybe a year after, just after I left, and I went to Nebraska, and he switched over and he ended up playing in the NFL for a while. But he would have been a good defensive lineman. But I said, you're going to be a phenomenal offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And what about when it comes to like wide receivers versus cornerbacks? Is it just a matter of like, if you can't catch, then go play defense?
What are you trying to say? Defensive guys can't catch? That's fucked up.
I mean, is it true? I feel like it's true for the most part, right?
No.
Like if you got that great of hands, let's say that you found a cornerback that had the greatest hands that you've ever seen playing football, you'd probably find a way to put him on offense every now and again, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I also, there's a bit of a misconception that's a totally different skill set to play wide receiver and play DB.
It's also, I feel like there's been a transition recently where it used to be cornerbacks have similar skill sets off wide receivers, but they might be maybe not have the height that wide receivers have. It feels like now teams are going after taller corners. You'll see like 6'2", 6'3" corners where you maybe wouldn't see that back in the day, where it was more like the guys that are 5'11" are playing cornerback, and then you get your 6'3" guys at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Because it does feel like cornerback.
Yeah, it's changed now. I mean, but everyone's a little bit different, obviously, but I don't. It's totally different. You take a guy. I've had guys that I thought would be great, wideouts that I thought would be great corners, and I put them over there, gave them a look, and they can't figure it out, and vice versa.
Yeah,
you have to like enjoy contact a little bit too.
You have to enjoy contact, but it's more of a reactive position. I mean, obviously wide out, what you're doing. When you're a DB, you're playing reactive, and that's a totally different skill set. Mm-hmm. And you're not going this way all the time. You're backpedaling. It's just different. Some guys can make the transition, some guys can't.
Did you ever recruit a guy on campus and you thought maybe he'd be a quarterback, and it's pretty apparent after like the first year that he should move to wide receiver, but he resists moving to wide receiver, and because he resists for so long because he wants to be the quarterback, then his development at receiver gets stunted. Next thing you know, he doesn't get into any games, and then he spends the rest of his life being like, I should have been a college quarterback.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
I bet you go across the country and you see that a ton.
Mm-hmm.
That guys and I think part of that happens is because people aren't honest. I was always honest with the kids. If I thought a kid was going to move, I was going to tell them.
Right.
Or I was going to say, hey, this is a possibility. And I'd be honest with them from day one. But, some people, they're just going to try to get them to sign on the dotted line and get them, and then
move them around after. But it does.
And that never works well.
Right, right. Where a guy thinks he's like, oh, I'm a quarterback, and then you're like, hey, dude, you're a wide receiver, special teams player. He's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
We know a guy like that.
Yeah, we know a guy who
he usually sits in that seat. Actually, he's not here right now.
I don't know if you've met Billy Football.
No, I got to
actually. Billy Football was he came with us to the bocce tournament, and we told him,
I remember.
Yeah, we told him to
yeah.
watch the car, and then when we came back, he was blackout drunk. So that's Billy Football.
I had a kid when I was at Nebraska who was a good wide receiver. Wasn't great. He was 6'4", and we had some injuries, and I moved him to corner on a Monday and started him on Saturday.
Jeez.
And he knew nothing. I mean, nothing. All he knew how to do was I said, don't try to teach him all these things. Just teach him to play press. Just tell him to get up, and he's not allowed to play off. He just got to. And this was like the first time he'd ever played corner in his life, and he went and started against Ohio State, and made an interception. And he ended up playing in the NFL for a few years.
Wow,
holy shit!
Damn.
Stanley Jean-Baptiste.
Wow.
Yeah,
Look it up.
I remember that name.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a hell of a story. All right, Jake, that was a good first question. What do we got next?
Bo, what makes a guy a dude on the field / weight room, and what would make a guy a dude at the office? Steve from Tampa.
All right, say that again.
How does a guy become a dude?
Yeah. And does it translate from on? So basically, he's asking like,
what does it mean to be a dude on the football field? And if we were to translate that to the office workplace, what would become
all right,
a
so
dude?
you do football field. Maybe we'll fill in office.
I think on the foot, guy to me, it's kids are tough. I mean, who really roll up their sleeves and go to work every day and don't. I mean, that's what it takes to be a dude on the football field. Who's going to stay? Who's going to be who he is? I mean, who's dependable? You don't have to worry about him. He's not going to be, grabbing his hamstring and trying to duck out of practice. Not trying to be that kind of guy. He's a guy that's going to show up every day, put a good day's work in, and be that guy.
Can you tell a dude right away, like when you're watching your football team and you're looking at everyone, you're like, all right, here are the 5 to 6 guys that I just know.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not the best athletes, but the guys that you're like, I can depend on them, and they're, everyone will respect them and just the way they carry themselves.
Absolutely. And most of the time, to me, you can see that when you're watching the film, when you're either recruiting a kid or you're watching the film for the draft. You can tell who those guys are, or you have a pretty good idea who those guys are.
Yeah.
And who's not.
Yeah. I'd say in the office, I don't know what would be a dude.
I would say, like, if you get chewed out by your boss, let's say you have, like, a group assignment, you get chewed out by your boss for something that your coworker did wrong, and you keep your mouth shut, and you don't say to them, no, it was actually that person's fault. If you just take that ass chewing, then the person whose fault that it really was will see that, and they're like, I got this guy's back for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I also think, dude.
And then if the guy sees that, and saw somebody take an ass chewing, it's that guy is able to walk over to the boss and say, no, it was me.
Yeah.
That would be nice too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But otherwise,
it kind of goes both ways.
I'm also
to be a dude, you better own up
to your own mistakes. Yeah.
I'm also thinking from like a very selfish standpoint. If I had just taken my berating, then I know that person who I saved, I've got them in my pocket for the rest of my life at that office, so I can cash in a favor later.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, good question, Jake. Your next one.
Dear Coach Pelini, as a football guy, what is the go-to breakfast and drink to start your day before practice? Does it change in game day to certain meals, or is the routine kind of the same every day? I'd like to think you'd be a morning chili or maybe a waffles kind of guy.
Chili.
Why not both?
Get that piss hot.
Chili on the waffles.
Yeah.
I kind of ate. I didn't really give a shit what time we were playing. I pretty much ate the same thing before every game.
Which was
some meat, obviously some steak or something like that.
Obviously,
kind of what the players did.
Some
steak, a little bit of pasta, and that's about it. I wasn't a big eater before games. But I was gonna have some spaghetti, and I was gonna have a little bit of meat that was gonna carry me through all day.
Get the protein going. What'd you have before the 2017 national championship game against JMU?
Same, but probably exactly the same thing. That's what I ate before every game. I'm a creature of habit and kind of have my what do you call it? I'm superstitious in some way.
What about in the morning, like a regular Tuesday morning? Is it coffee right away?
I eat oatmeal and that's it.
That's it? No coffee?
I have a little bit of. I probably have a coffee sometimes.
Okay, oatmeal and coffee. I want to start doing that.
So you're not one of the coaches that just pounds caffeine all the time. Like
No.
Coach O, he drinks like
Or our guy Dana.
17 Red Bulls a day. Yeah, the
Dana,
two of them
Coach,
take down a keg
Coach
of the stuff.
Holgerson, he's just Red Bulls all day.
Yeah, I couldn't remember it. Oh, he drank Red Bulls all day. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, maybe Monster.
Yeah, he had to.
Yeah.
I think he said he had to curtail the Red Bull intake after he got up to about 12 a day.
Yeah.
But Dana's probably still around.
Oh
there.
yeah, he doesn't. He just goes.
Well, Dana
after.
doesn't sleep.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so he just drinks Red Bull all day.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, if I let myself, I mean, I love Coca-Cola, like regular Coke, like the old Coke Classic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I let myself, I'd drink 15 a day.
But yeah, this football guy to know that you got to stop yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the taste of it. I mean, out of caffeine, I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
All the sugar.
Yeah,
but I don't, but the Red Bull and all that, the Monsters, all that shit, I won't drink that stuff. I don't like that.
Okay. Next.
Do you guys
question.
like that?
I just do coffee all day.
Yeah.
I look at Red Bull like it's medicine, where I don't really like the taste, but I don't really care about the taste. I just know that I have to take it and I'll stay awake.
Well, I'll do Red Bull like when we record late at night, I'll do a Red Bull because it always feels like silly to have a coffee at 10 p.m. even though I'm doing the same thing with the Red Bull. I don't know why, but that's
cold.
the only time. Yeah, but I'm like probably 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day.
Wow. A lot of people I know drink. They'll have Red Bull and like that's what they use as their mixer with their mixed drinks.
Yeah, well, Red Bull and vodka that's a good way to start a party.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, you would be wired, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah,
your upper and your downer.
Oh yeah, you keep the party going all day,
all in one. It's basically like a classy Four Loko. That's what Four Loko tried to accomplish.
Yeah,
but they flew too close to the sun.
Red Bull vodka is a good way if you're out at a bar and you're like you find yourself dragging, like maybe it's like 10, 11 o'clock. Quick one of those and you're back. That's what you got to do.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
Do you have to play on real grass to be considered a true football guy?
Ooh,
absolutely. At some point, you have to.
At some point.
Yeah. You gotta at some point. I mean, right? I mean,
yeah.
At some point, you gotta be. The camera has to go, and you gotta have a grass sticking out of your.
Yes.
Yeah. Or like, imagine being a kid growing up playing sports, and you never come home with a grass stain on your jersey.
It's crazy.
That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What?
I mean, you got a lot of kids. Like I was just watching a baseball game the other day. Went to see my nephew play, and it was in Columbus, and these high school kids, they're playing on like the infield was field turf.
Yeah, right, right.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
and it was like
baseball on field turf makes no sense.
We didn't even have grass. We just played. It was just like those. You remember the old? It was like all dirt.
Some rocks that just showed up out of nowhere. Out there too. It's like don't slide into second because your knee's going to get skinned up.
Do you like though as a football coach knowing field turf? Like at least you don't have to. It's like one less variable. Do you appreciate that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, but but you got to at some point you got to have. There has to be some grass.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Also,
I like the grass fields.
With field turf, you can't grow the field turf out to slow down a faster opponent.
True.
I've always wondered about that too because
I wonder if they could do like different pellets, those rubber pellets,
have your
slower ones,
bigger pellets.
Yeah.
You know, like Notre Dame used to grow their grass out if they'd be playing like USC or something like that. They'd be like, okay, they're much faster than us. But I always thought like that would slow your defense down too, right?
Yeah.
Like doesn't it go?
Everyone gets slower, so the fast guys still are faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of all bullshit. To be honest with you,
it's a mind game.
Yeah.
The better team is going to win.
The football team is going to win.
Yeah.
I had a kid when I'm not going to tell you where because I did coach this kid. There was a kid that couldn't figure out why. Well, we had a field turf. We were playing on field turf, and he said, I don't understand this. I always see them water, because they would water the field turf to get the rubber pellets to kind of sink in and stuff. And he was like, I see people all the time watering. I never see anybody cutting it.
It's Will Compton.
Yeah, it's Will Compton.
That was Will Compton, right?
It was Will Compton.
Yeah, it was Will.
All right, next question.
When it's a QB sneak situation, why don't coaches sub in a big boy to push the pile? Or why don't they put 2 or 3 big boys behind the QB to push the pile? You could even have a sneak specialist.
Good question.
Well, some people do that. They've pushed. They get those big fat guys. I mean, I don't know whether they like get linemen and stuff, but they'll get in like where they're like 2 yards behind the quarterback. But that's one thing that I don't think a lot of people practice enough.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because I don't understand how teams don't practice it more when you watch what the Patriots have done and what Tom Brady, probably the thing he's most elite at is getting a yard when he needs to.
Yeah.
And it's such an underrated thing where it's like, why, on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, like always being able to get that yard, always finding that little seam and falling forward. You see teams try to do it in a key situation. You're like, yep, you're right. They haven't practiced that. Like, they don't know what they're doing.
There's no question. And let me tell you, at some point it's going to it costs people games.
Right.
I was watching a bowl game where they had, I'm telling you, like an inch and a half to go. And this team punted. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, that's crazy. You do that, you don't deserve to win if you can't get.
Wait, what bowl game was that? I'm trying to think about it. Was it Northwestern Kentucky?
It was Kentucky. It was Iowa and Kentucky.
Iowa and Kentucky, okay. Well, Iowa punts all the time anyway. Iowa just loves to punt.
But I couldn't understand why they,
Yeah, why you don't just go get that 1 yard.
Yeah, end the game.
Do you believe in that? Do you believe in that theory that because that's what I always tell myself when it's 4th and 1, you're like, hey, go for this, and I always just do the old mantra like, if you can't get 1 yard, you don't deserve to win. Is that fair to say?
I think there's a whole different. There's 1 yard and then there's inches.
Right.
A yard's a full yard. I don't know. That can be hairy.
Yeah.
But when I'm talking about, this much,
you got to be able to get that.
You have to be able to get it. You probably don't deserve to win the football.
Yeah. It does seem to me like the great quarterbacks are good at all these small little details. Like Tom Brady, like we said, he will get a yard on a quarterback sneak every time, usually like 2 yards. Aaron Rodgers on 4th down when he goes out there with the hard count, he's just like, I don't know if it's the amount of practice that he puts in with his offensive line, but it does. Big Cat always says that he's cheating when he does it because it's so good, and they've practiced it so often. I feel like those little details right there would be things that more quarterbacks would like copy and try to emulate. But sometimes they get out there on 4th down and they just kind of look lost, and they're like, okay, I guess I'll just run the play as called and not try to work on this thing. But like the small things like that makes a big difference between being like, I don't know, like a 4-6 team and a 6-4 team.
Yeah.
No, but the detail matters, and there's also, it's hard to, is it from a defensive standpoint to stop a sneak? You got to load up, and you got to kind of go all in to make it happen. If offensive guys will just change the picture a little bit, add somebody in or bring a wide out in, and you just change the picture a little bit, and you're not going to get stopped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's the best defensive player you've ever coached?
The best defensive player that I've ever coached. That's a good question. In college?
Yeah.
I think that probably for about the last half of his senior year, Sue was probably, he was as dominant as you could possibly be.
Were you the coach in that Texas game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest games I've ever played by Sue. He almost won that game for you guys by himself.
Well, we did win the game.
Yeah. Wait.
One second left.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You're right. You did win the game.
We lost.
But you won. Yeah. But that was one of, like, if you don't know that game, Big 12 Finals, Nebraska versus Texas, Sue was just an absolute, like, he wrecked the entire game.
Yeah, we dominated them. They were good. They went to the national championship game. I think they put 35 or something up on Alabama.
Yeah.
They lost to Alabama like 38-35 or whatever it was. They couldn't get.
That was the one that Colt McCoy got hurt, I think.
Yeah, it's Garrett Gilbert in the second half.
Yeah, in the Rose Bowl.
They couldn't get they couldn't get first downs against us.
Yeah. I like how you're holding on that you won the game.
They did.
You got me confused there for a second. I was like, wait.
No,
no, yeah, you did. Yeah, no,
that was actually the next question.
Time just
the
all right, go ahead.
Did Colt McCoy's pass in the 2009 Big 12 championship game fall incomplete before or after time expired?
Well, let me tell you, until somebody will show me a split screen. Well, it's here's the ball hitting and here's the time running out. The time ran out. There was nothing. There was no evidence to say that ball hit because they're not supposed to turn it. The clock isn't supposed to stop until the ball actually hit something.
Right.
Yeah. And I think they like went back and they said that it hit something on the
They
sidelines.
fucking lied.
That was like sticking
That
up,
was
right?
that was a screw job.
It was. I was in
They
Austin.
wanted because they wanted Texas to go to the national championship game. Let's face it.
Yeah.
They wanted to make sure that a team from the Big 12 went.
Yeah.
Well,
And we
also,
won the game.
Texas-
the game was over.
Right. Texas in general going to a championship, they know that that's going to put butts in seats. And so they didn't want you guys to take that away from all the money that they stood to make. And it was a screw job. I was in Austin watching it, actually, at a Longhorn bar. Everybody in the bar thought the game was over.
Yeah.
And then when they put the second back on, nobody knew where it came from. They just saw that the official was like, no, the ball landed out of bounds. We're going to put a second back on. One more play, go for it. It was bullshit. I agree with you about that one.
That game though, everyone should go watch that game because Sue. I just looked it up. It was 12 tackles as a defensive tackle, 12 tackles, 7 for a loss, 4.5 sacks. You can't be more dominant than that as a defensive tackle in a game, not an edge rusher.
Let me
4.5
tell you,
sacks.
our defense that year. I mean, obviously Sue, as I told you, he was a huge part of it, but our defense that year. If you go back and look at the stats from that defense, that was an unbelievable defense.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a lot of offense on that team.
Yeah.
But I would say I truly believe at the end of the year, nobody in the country could have beat us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what was your record at the end of that year?
11-2 or
yeah,
10-2,
so maybe you would have been in the college football playoff if there was an expanded one. That's whenever people talk about the college football playoff and the expansion, it's like those teams that maybe have 1 or 2 losses, but they have an elite side of the ball. It's like I want to see them in there. I want to see them mix with someone else. So.
Yeah, and we got better as the year went on. We lost I think we lost to Iowa State that year. We turned the ball over 8 times, 5 times inside going in.
Damn.
Inside the 10-yard line. And we lost 9-7.
Jesus.
Something crazy like that.
Jesus. All right, we got any others?
We got one more.
Okay, let's do it.
What's up, Bo and Billy Football, somewhere out in the woods? If you could take over a program today, say like the Nebraska football team, what would you do to get them back to a national powerhouse? Thanks.
Well, I think that anything to get somebody back to a national powerhouse, you got to do things right, and you got to recruit well, obviously. And I think just taking. I think this is the biggest misconception that the average fan has is every place you go would take different things to try to get them going.
Yeah,
you can't just say okay. If I went to Nebraska or I went to Ohio State or I went to whoever, Purdue or whatever, every single situation's different. Mm-hmm. So you got to run your program a little bit differently, and different things will actually lead to winning. And I don't think people understand that.
You're not going to go to Army and be like, we're gonna spread them out.
Right,
exactly. We're gonna go air raid.
Well, yeah, and it's playing to the strengths of also geography. It's like I always think about
how do you recruit?
Yeah, like when Barry Alvarez took over at Wisconsin, his press conference was like, "There's a lot of fat people in Wisconsin. We're gonna build a line."
Yeah,
and like that kind of stuff where it's like, "Hey, this is what it is." Right? Where like you play to your strength.
There's no doubt, and recruiting wise, you have to do that, and you can't be stubborn about it. And I always say that the best jobs coaching are the people the people who can beat people with the people they didn't want.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's good. I like that.
I don't think people understand that. Like if you got to go in and 5 or 6 weeks out of the year, you're going to go in and you're not going to have the best players, but you got to figure out other ways to win. There's the little things, the detail, the big culture part of things. And I think that's part of college football now that's going to be missing.
Yeah.
With the transfer portal and all the other bullshit that's going on, it's getting harder and harder for those teams that aren't the elite in elite recruiting places to develop a culture that's good enough to beat those, to beat the teams that really have recruiting advantages.
Now, the debate has had a lot, and I'd love to hear your take. What is the best job in America? And you can tackle it from any perspective, but let's just say, what's the best job in terms of the recruiting base and you go there and you should win a national title?
I mean, obviously, I think Alabama's up there. I think that there's not one, but I think there's probably, 4, 5 or 6.
Usually people say Ohio State,
Yes.
Georgia, Alabama, or LSU. Alabama, yes, but also that's a lot of Saban. And then they'll throw in USC because of, the talent on the West Coast, and they are the West Coast team. I'm trying to think. Texas always gets mentioned, but now Texas obviously has to deal with Texas A&M, and there's a lot of, Oklahoma's done well. And then I think people also throw in Florida, a school where you can get insane talent in state. Those schools.
Yeah, I think so. But I also think the interesting part of it is that's going to evolve too, because you mentioned a lot of those programs, and I wouldn't disagree with any of those programs. But then you have to add on top of it an athletic director, and a president and an administration that gets it.
Yeah.
To allow you to take advantage of the things that, let's face it, that's one of the reasons why Alabama, obviously Nick Saban's a great coach, always has been, and he does a great job. But their administration, allowing him to do things the way they have to be done, and that goes a long way.
Yeah.
And there are places where the administration gets in the way and they screw it up.
That's actually, I would say, there's a lot of reasons, and we could do a whole podcast about it, but one of the biggest reasons there's been such a big gap open between Oklahoma and Texas is the administration at Oklahoma seemingly being strong throughout everything, always having their coaches back, that seamless transition they had, and that, from Stoops to Lincoln Riley to now going to the next guy, Venables, they'll probably be just fine. And Texas has a carousel going on ever since Mac Brown left.
Yeah, there's reasons why things are turning over all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know everything that goes on at Texas, but there's something missing for that. There's something missing somewhere.
Yeah.
They've got all these boosters who all think that they control the program by themselves. So you've got guys with names on all the buildings on campuses, and they all think that they're the most important person in the football program at Texas. And there's no strong administration to rein them in and keep them in check and go one-on-one with the coach. That's what Mac Brown was actually probably the best at, even in the years where he started to tail off. He's a great handshaker. He'll go out, he'll talk to anybody. He'll make you feel like you're the most important booster to the program. And the guys they got after him are not like that at all, so it creates a lot of strife. So sometimes the best jobs in theory, you don't realize that it's going to be like that TV show Succession around you all the time, where everyone's stabbing each other in the back over everything, which is not anything that you'd ever actually be prepared for in a job until you got there. No one's going to tell you that.
How would you even know that that's going to go on? You could have a pretty good idea, but could you imagine somebody that would never happen at Alabama,
right?
Ever? There's no way, and I don't know. Obviously, part of that's because of Nick, but their administration wouldn't allow. There's not some booster's not going to walk into Nick Saban's office and say, "You got to do this."
Yeah,
you got to do that. Nick would tell him to go pound salt.
Right, right.
If it was going to take away from them having the ability to win.
Yeah. Yep.
But that goes on all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, has been awesome. Everyone go listen to Beyond the Playbook. We'll link to it. It's coming out soon. Love catching up with you. We're gonna do numbers now. You want to guess a number?
Yeah.
We got the lottery ball machine.
1 through 99.
1 through 99.
Oh, 100's in there.
100's in there.
It is?
Yeah. I'm gonna guess 26.
6.
What's your guess?
10.
If you get that right, that'll be incredible.
25.
39.
69. For memes. Oh boy. Unfortunately, you don't get anything if you win. But
I should.
12.
Oh.
12. Very close.
That's a good quarterback number.
That's a great quarterback
I was
number.
closest, though. So
Yeah.
You were.
So you win satisfaction.
What do I win?
Satisfaction.
Congratulations.
That's a crock of shit.
All right. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
All right, fellas.